sports station. The home of Joe Rose with Hollywood, Tobin and Leroy, and Hawk Crowder and Solana. South Florida sports lives here.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Home of your price seat to our lowest price. Visit us, Doral Volkswagen, or DoralVW.com. Giannis Antetokounmpo introduced as a member of the Heat yesterday. He said he'll do whatever it takes to win a championship, while Pat Riley kept the door open for LeBron James. LeBron says he's not ready to reveal his team yet. Marlins return to play tonight, 7:40 against the Brewers in Milwaukee, and the Panthers release their 2026-27 schedule. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures around 90 today with a chance of rain in the afternoon. I am Dan Day. It's time for the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Hey, happy Friday to everybody out there, man. Got a lot of stuff going on. I got to tell you, who said July used to be slow? I can't even imagine. Dave Hyde's with us this morning, all day, Dan Day with us as well. Man, we got plenty to talk about, but Dave, won too many years ago. It was just the Canes and the Dolphins, and we'd be talking right now about the upcoming football season, and we had like June and July because we have anything else. I was here for that.
Oh, I was remember that how big baseball was going if they went to the College World Series. I mean, it'd still be a story.
Oh, no, we sent people, all the TV network, local TV, everybody wanted to be out there and eating those big steaks, and Canes feel good about their chances. Yeah. Oh, it's
now July between free agency and trades.
Big events.
And big events. That's it. We love big events.
We love big events, man. I would debate when somebody says, we don't need those. I look at, man, don't be a pig just because you don't like it, or, it's okay. We like something for everybody. I understand not everybody likes tennis and not everybody likes golf, but it's good to have those events, man.
I like it all.
I do,
I like it all. I like a smorgasbord.
I do. It's funny. I do, too, and I grew up that way, and I want to thank my father because we liked everything, man. Now, the ones you have in your backyard are more popular, but
and the ones you grew up with, the teams you grew up with, but now the World Cup, who doesn't like the World Cup?
By the way, it's been so good here. You know what? You just, and I know you and I have been talking about this. You step back because we're getting ready for another game here at Hard Rock tomorrow, 5:00. England and France. I have no idea if the Stars are going to play because I don't know anybody that says I'm playing for my country. We're one of the favorites and we're playing for the third position. You should feel good about it because those countries, they want to win the whole damn thing. So I don't know how Mbappe and all the rest of those guys going to treat this thing.
Mbappe could win the Golden Boot. He's tied right now with Messi. Point. So I think that matters to him now. Does it matter enough to the rest of the team? I don't know. But I did hear England can set the record for most third-place losses.
Oh God, Dave,
I don't know. I don't know what this means.
It's a historic day for the French national team because Didier Deschamps, their head coach for 15 years, is retiring after the game. So they might actually play a little bit.
All right, look at you guys.
And how about if you're the English?
I'm out drinking last night. Look at you two.
Yeah, you had more fun. we're looking at we were looking at clips of breaking down England's defense there. But if you're Tuchel, the English coach, you don't want to get beat 3-0 by the French on top of
he's
everything
getting torched.
else.
He's getting torched for whatever he had his guys do, and the changes he's made in the lineup late. He's just getting crushed. And what was that prevent, as they call it in American football? What was that prevent we ran at the end, letting Messi and his guys firing shots at us? And
you could just see that.
You saw it coming. You did see it. One, they were so close to scoring like 3. And I was like, and they just, every time you looked up, they were setting up to, Messi was setting somebody up to fire another shot.
You don't even need to know soccer to know. Wait a second. They got not 10 guys back to their goal, playing defense.
And they were getting tighter and tighter and closer to the goal.
And still Messi's perfect pass somehow threaded over perfectly.
Over the top of one guy's head and before the other guy could get there. And right to his guy, just absolutely perfect. And by the way, the big winner when this all said and done is going to be Inter Miami when they come back. And especially if Messi wins this last game. If Argentina beats Spain Sunday, 3:00, going to be good for business. There's nothing you don't need to put a billboard up. You just say, hey, he's back, and I don't know if he's going to rest a game or two or he comes right back and plays. But
because when he came here a few years ago, the idea was, he's lost a step, and so he's coming to MLS like a lot of stars. But he's the biggest star, but he's not what he was because he's not playing in the European leagues anyway. But the World Cup, here he is 39, and he is the best player in the world. He leads Argentina in goals, assists, shots, chances created. If there's a soccer stat, he leads the team in it.
Does not play like he's 39. He is not. He's playing with a lot of guys in their early 20s, some of the best players, guys in their mid-20s. And Dave, he is, to think, and just all this stuff, like this team, when they got it here, I had no idea what it was going to look like. Inter Miami. I still remember him practice next to the strikers when the Dolphins and strikers were practicing by each other out at and our guys were complaining some of the striker players were making more than the Dolphin players. And it was just, I remember sitting in the locker room during that time, and they were all good guys.
Because the Robbies own both teams, right?
The Robbies own Joe Robbie and the Robbie family. Brian Wiedemeyer was part of it. They really, they like soccer. That was it. So they brought in some pretty good guys, but they're all good guys, really good guys, and did a little drinking in the old days with some of those guys. They were great guys. They really were. But to think that you bring another one in, and my first thought was, we're going to get an MLS team. Oh boy, this is what happens when the Moss family can't get the Marlins, and now they're going to do this. And they built that thing from, I don't know, value of $600 million to $1.5 billion franchise. Now one of the top soccer franchises value-wise in the world, what they've done. I give those guys a lot of credit. Of course, the book also, if you care, and, not that I follow everything in soccer, but, I like to see a story like that where what they've done. And nobody thought Messi was going to come here and we're going to be talking about this. I thought he was on the farewell tour of waving, playing a few minutes, showing up at a couple clinics for kids, and just promoting him as the greatest player of all time.
Even him coming here, remember, it went on for, it felt like a few years. It's sort of like the Giannis trade. Oh, yeah, sure, it's going to happen. It's been rumored for
how long that thing. That's a great point.
Moss and Beckham. And going back, and now we're hearing story in the book and elsewhere that going back to Europe constantly and recruiting his family.
No idea the Moss family is going over there and spending so much time with Messi's father, who controls a lot of his stuff. And we hope Mr. Messi's was sick there, and hopefully he's okay and stuff. But and enjoying his son and what's going on. Hey, by the way, the biggest story yesterday, I didn't forget it. Don't go by my order of starting our show here on Friday. LeBron not yet at a Fanatic Fest, and Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. Pat looked like a little kid here, man. He said, I got one, and now I want both of them.
I want to land the other plane. We've gone.
I want the other plane.
We've gone from whale to plane. We need the Fantasy Island guy. The plane. What are we going to see? Is it coming? Is it coming? And
it would have been fun if he'd said, we got one Mickey plane. I want one more. It would have been,
He talked about after. He said, so nobody's talked to LeBron for a week, and meaning nobody from the Heat. Who knows what the other teams are doing? And but he's putting out there again that he made it sound like they're like everybody else, just in the dark, waiting for LeBron to make.
They didn't feel like they were shutting the door. No, and like, hey, I got Giannis. This is fantastic. And by the way, even the Bobby Portis, who really wanted to be here, obviously, and And it's really funny to hear how many times through the years Pat's gone after some of these guys to try to get them and how long it's taken. And he was just pumped, and having Spo on the other side. And of course, you can see Spo really respects the hell out of Pat Riley and lets him still run the show there at the time. I thought it was cool. And Giannis, hey, man, it's another big well, and we got to find out. We got Shaq on the downside of his career a little bit, but he was a key piece to the success they had. And even when they came up short, but they won a lot of games. And now we're going to see what what Giannis can do is obviously is the big dog. No matter who's here, it's going to start with him. But this is going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, once this is done with LeBron, there's some guys on deck that can also help you. Klay Thompson through trade, if the buyout is really going to happen, and DeMar DeRozan and a few other guys as well that look like they might get bought out of their contracts, take less money and work a deal out. And he could be getting some more guys.
What do you think? Does it happen today, Joe? LeBron's again? No. It's going to drag out longer?
LeBron did not sound like, hey, I'm not doing it today, but I got a podcast tomorrow. Like, why didn't, if you're going to do it tomorrow, why did you just do it today?
Well, he didn't do it today because his future teammate, Giannis, is being introduced. He didn't want to step on him. He didn't want to be the story. Let Giannis be the story, right? Now tomorrow, back to back. That'd be
a great, listen, it would be it'd be one of the best days in the last couple of years for the Miami Heat. Considering everything
yesterday was the best day. This would be the second best.
These are great days. Yeah. Listen, man, they're great days because the Heat fans know what happens when we go out. So far, we haven't been let down when we go out and get one of these big players. We haven't been let down. We just haven't. Even Alonzo coming here and Timmy did not let me down. And I know they didn't win a championship, but they filled the arena to watch those guys, and those teams were fun to watch. And then, the history of everybody else with Shaq coming in here and playing with D Wade and the big three playing together, even Jimmy Butler coming down there probably did a lot more than I thought they would with that group. And now Giannis comes and you get excited one more time because, again, we really haven't had a flop when we go after the big whale. We have not been disappointed. Even though we haven't gotten some of these guys in their prime, we got LeBron absolutely still on his way up. But Shaq was
35.
Yeah, his best days were.
But he got the title. He did. And Wade.
He dominated some games and the whole thing. But yeah, this will be an interesting one.
How about if LeBron says, you know what? I have unfinished business in Miami because I said not one, not two, not three, not four.
You really got creative last night.
I put that in my Substack column.
You know what?
Come on, that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And he has a sense of humor.
You got real creative with your writing skills
humor,
last night.
Right?
Oh,
Let's
my
go.
God. Yeah. Listen, we're all having fun with all this stuff. Marlins back in action against the Brewers. 52-45, 3-game set with the Brewers, followed by the Astros, and then coming home, and then they're getting ready to play the National League East. There's going to be a lot of head-to-head here coming up, both here and at on the road with all three teams they'll be playing. So Mets and Braves and Phillies series all coming up here. Open Championship going on. One thing about it, Wimbledon, French Open, and now the Open, as I like to call it, the British Open, they're about 6 hours ahead of us. So if you like getting up early, like my hours, you can get up, turn it on where you get up and get that first coffee in the morning and watch a little. You enjoy watching golf on TV?
The big events I do. Yeah, I like watching it all. Yeah, I love like the Masters. Like I covered a lot of Masters, and if there's one event I miss going to, it's that because it's a daytime event.
How many of those you go to?
Oh,
I've never been.
6 or 8. I don't know.
As a media member.
As a media working, yeah. And it's a great event to cover because it's
a
rare one during the day.
I'm learning a lot about you late in life. You hit me with that one, and then you hit me with that playoff thing, and come to find I've had 5 or 6 guys walk up to me and go, I didn't know about that thing.
How about you know who I talked to last night? This is weird. I'm going to write a column on this on Substack. Here I have a second plug for that.
Well, you need to plug it more,
but
because it's you're good.
The playoff bowl, that's what it was called. This consolation game.
It was called the playoff bowl.
Playoff bowl, and then they changed the name to the Burt Bell Bowl. Burt Bell was a commissioner. So last night, I had this guy's number. I called Upton Bell, his son. Upton Bell was a GM for the Patriots. He worked with Shula in Baltimore Colts, and we talked about, did that game mean any? Because what happened? I did.
So Shoes lost two games.
He won. He won.
He won. Oh, he didn't get credit for the 2 games.
He won 2, and at the time they counted. And if you look in the Baltimore Colts media guides, that game's listed like any other normal game. The stats are listed. In the Dallas Cowboys, who they beat, is still listed that game as part of the schedule. But what happened was in the 1970s somewhere, I can't find exactly where, the NFL decided, no, we're not going to count those games. So they counted them when they played. And
they were important enough that you wanted to play them, but not to count. That's unbelievable.
And then retroactively, they said, years later, those games don't count. So that's why Shula was upset that they stole two. I'm going to write about this. I'm going to write about it for my probably put it up Saturday.
I got to ask this. David Shula know about all this stuff?
I should call him. I don't know. I'll ask him.
He's really up on everything. Listen, he was close to his father and knew. I just wondered, but listen, there was no question after playing for that guy that he would have cared about those two games.
He had Harvey Green call the league. This is in the 90s. He had Harvey, because Harvey, he was talking about, and Harvey mentioned the NCAA consolation game, which in March Madness until 1979 they had a consolation game, and that counted. And Shula said, "Yeah, why don't our game?" So Harvey called the league, and they said, "No, we've decided it was an exhibition game." But
that's what
after the fact, years later, when they played, and I read quotes from the game stories last night and everything, and Shula said, so they.
I got a vision.
It's like King Saul.
I got a vision.
It's like I'm Mel Fisher finding treasure.
I got a vision of him talking to his GM and everybody else, and he ran the show. By the way, no, what you had GM title or whatever, but it was Don Shula's show. Complain to everybody and telling them how much BS that was behind closed doors. I could just hear him at a meeting going, friggin' got our guys ready to play. We won those games, and I'm friggin' not getting credit.
Give him his 2 wins, right?
It's amazing. Good God, that's a great story. Hey, that's Dave Hyde, and we got a lot of stuff to get to here this morning. Woody up at the ACC meetings I had a chance yesterday to interview ESPN college football analyst Luginbill and Tom Luginbill, and who does a great job and insider for college football here for a long time. So we're going to have that for you coming up here on a Friday. We got a lot more stuff to get to here in the morning. A lot of football stuff, Canes and Dolphins stuff as well. We'll have that for you coming up here in just a few minutes. But first, before we do, listen, it's Friday, and a lot of you are going to be out looking for a new truck. I know guys that drive trucks getting up early, getting ready for a full day of work and trying to finish up a job. And hey, a lot of you are going to be working on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, man. I see you out there in the heat working. That's how you make a living. Well, you want a truck that works as hard as you do. Well, South Florida Chevy dealers, we love our trucks, and we want to make sure when you're looking around, you stop by one of those 14 dealerships to see what's happening, because you are going to love the Chevy Colorado, whether it's a custom or the ZR2. It's got all the right tools for you to really exceed all your expectations. And then right to a Chevy Silverado, from the custom Trail Boss to the Silverado EV with 10 models and 4 powerful engine choices. Silverado delivers an impressive balance of strength, dependability, and efficiency. Hey, let's talk about some more big boys. Chevy Silverado HD, you can choose from the powerful LTZ with premium style and substance to match. And then just go big. Go with the Chevy Silverado HD High Country. Got everything you need. Hey, it's like they've custom-made a truck perfect for your lifestyle. Whether it's a full-time working truck, still needs to be a family truck, and still want to have fun with it on a Sunday with you and the family, visit your local South Florida Chevy dealers this weekend. Together, let's drive.
560 WQAM conducts contests from time to time, on air, online.
Orange Bowl Media Tour presented by Duffy's Sports Grill. And kind enough to join us is Tom Luganville from the ACC Network. Tom, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, good to be here.
Yeah, it's an exciting few days here. A lot of programs, and I guess headlined by the school in our backyard here, Miami, as they're coming off an incredible run through the playoff. Let's start there. If you can look back at that, and how about that? They sneak in to the playoff and end up knocking off some of the top teams in the country, come within a few plays to beating Indiana in the championship game.
Yeah, I tell you, throughout the course of the season and doing studio all season long for the ACC Network and then being on site for each and every one of the playoff games, including the national championship game, it was just an incredible run. But you use the term sneak in. I think there's some validity to that, but it was also a reflection of the committee making the right choice. Because if you don't make that choice to make head-to-head paramount, think of the ripple effect of that. Who in their right mind would want to play a big week 0 or week 1 game anymore?
Yeah.
Because if I win it, all of a sudden it doesn't matter. I mean, so them doing that in Miami, having that incredible 4-week stretch where they had an opportunity to impress upon the committee that they belonged and that they had the head-to-head with Miami. You hear coaches talk all the time that you want your team to be peaking at the right time. And that's what Miami did. You can come out of the gate for the first 6-7 weeks and be great. But all of a sudden you get banged up or you're not playing very well, your quarterback gets hurt, and the next thing you know, the backside of the season, you can't sustain it. They peaked at the right time, which carried them through the playoff.
So talking about the playoff now, and I know that there seems to be differing schools of thought on how many teams should get in. I guess the commissioner had said today, 24 teams should get in. I think Coach Cristobal's good with 12. Where do you stand on that? Is more better?
I'm always for more football just because I love it.
Yeah.
But the devil's always in the details, right? I mean, you're talking about a complete calendar shift. You're talking and more than just recruiting, the transfer portal. You're talking about when the season starts. How many bye weeks are we going to allow? Are we going to eliminate championship games? What does the FCS model look like? And how have they pulled that off so that the season doesn't go into February? There's a lot of detail there that has to be worked out. I'm all for more football. But when you're talking about playing for a national championship, there are not 24 teams in the country that can win a national championship. And it's great to include this team and include that team. I think one thing that I always point to is, when Notre Dame got left out last year and you look at Miami popping in, and that's fine. But we ended up as a result of that of having 2 group of 5 teams in the college football playoff who have essentially 0 shot. Mm-hmm. And so for me, what's different between football and basketball is basketball lets in the Cinderella, but not in place of the blue blood.
Yeah.
Right. And so I want to make sure that a team like BYU last year, a team like Texas, a team like Notre Dame, and even what Vanderbilt did, like those teams are better teams than James Madison, right, in Tulane. And so if expanding to 24 ensures that we give those other teams the opportunities, but we don't leave out somebody that not only truly belongs, but could go on a run because they have the roster to do it. Let's not forget, this is a battle of attrition. what you have to have specifically up front and at quarterback to be able to weather that storm each and every week, and knowing each team you're going to play is going to be better than the last.
Oh, it was a gauntlet.
Most teams are not built for that, right? So if you expand to 24, you still only got about 6 to 8 teams that are built to pull that off.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, right? If you expand to 24, then doesn't team 25 and 26, don't they?
Oh, so of course.
To complain. And so like, I
expand
guess,
to 32, then
right.
33 and 34 is bitching about it.
You keep expanding until, and then the other problem I think too becomes, what do you do with the second tier bowl games? What do you do with the mid-December bowl games?
Well, I was going to say, I think that's one of the reasons why 24 is a potential number, because, there's been a lot of discussion about, not ratings wise, but the smaller, lower level bowl games that do start, that third week in December and work through Christmas and New Year's, those are the games that oftentimes you're having teams' best players opt out of. Mm-hmm. Well, if you incorporate that into a playoff structure, maybe you start to eliminate some of that. Maybe it's, okay, well, we're going to this bowl game, but it's actually a bowl game to advance to the next one.
Okay.
So maybe in some way, shape, I've had conversations with Mark Richt about this, and we're kind of in agreement that maybe that's one of the ways to get people back and more invested in those games, not just from a team perspective, fan perspective, traveling, right, to those bowl games, all of those sorts of things I think could play a positive impact in kind of reinvigorating those bowl games you're referencing.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, because those games most of them are not in huge cities, right?
No, right. I mean, it could be Mobile, right? Yeah. I mean, it could be Lafayette. It could be, and the thing, they rate well. So, and that's a good part of it. How do you generate interest? How do you maintain the team's approach of saying, hey, we win this game, we still get to keep playing, guys? I mean, that's an incentive that I think, again, would lessen opt-outs. It would keep teams engaged. Now, what we're talking about is you're going to be talking about those first round and maybe sometimes second round matchups being absolute mismatches. So how many times, what's the likelihood that underdog is going to win that game?
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing too about those games is the amount of players that have opted out of these games. And you see teams that are barely able to field a full roster now.
Yeah, it's a shame. And I think particularly, and this is a whole other conversation, but particularly in this portal era, name, image, and likeness, the money that's being thrown around, the contracts that are being signed, if you're under contract to a team, you play in the games you're eligible to play in, right? This is what we're doing now is the equivalent of a team in the NFL finding out in week 14 that they're out of the playoff race, and somebody on their roster goes, all right, well, I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah.
That's not how it works, right? So I think we got to get to some solution there too.
You mentioned the portal, and it's been another wild off season. I feel like every college football off season we're seeing something new.
Sure.
And this one we saw, the thing at Texas Tech, which was an unusual story to say the least. We see guys are transferring, every single year, different schools. I know Congress is trying to get involved. How does this eventually get sorted out here in college football, where we have some sort of rule book or some kind of guidelines that we can go by, because it just feels like everyone's kind of winging it at this point?
We collectively bargain.
Okay.
It's the only way to stay out of court. It's the only way to have everybody's interest invested in coming up for solutions that everybody goes to the table and agrees upon. It puts players in positions where their contracts have to be honored, right? It limits the player movement. So now teams and universities can manage their rosters more steadily and more consistently. I don't think anybody wants to prohibit a free transfer. I think everybody's in agreement for that. But, to stop just the turnstile of players in and out, we can't have what we have now. And then we can't have contracts that aren't enforceable. I mean, that's insanity. You signed a contract, and guess what? I'm not allowed to break that contract.
Yeah.
Right? Well, players are right now. We can't have that. But I think the only way you come to a solution, because the problem is we've gone down this path so far now that you can't put the pace back in the tube. And the path that we've gone down is the players want to be owed everything. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I want to be paid this. I want to be paid that. But there hasn't been any accountability on their part to actually have to own up to the deal. Well, that's not real life. That's not reality. So I think collectively bargaining is the only way that we get there. And then everything is in writing. You have strict bylaws. Everybody's come to the table to agree upon it. And then you play it out from there. But at least everybody be playing with the same deck of cards and by the same rules and know what they are.
So in that scenario, who is enforcing the rules, right? Because the NCAA is kind of, I think we saw with the Brendan Sorsby thing, right?
They're toothless.
Like there's just not much that they can do. A judge rules and they say, all right, he's going to play. And eventually that ended up not happening. But what can they, like, who can enforce these rules? Like if you want to do a salary cap, right? If you want to cap teams, I don't know if that's something you think should be done or not. I don't know how you monitor that and enforce that.
Yeah, I think, you'd probably have to come up with some type of commission that is tied to the collective bargaining agreement, where you'd anoint a person, maybe commissioner for lack of a better phrase, or a board of directors, whether that's going to be sitting ADs, former coaches, guys that have lived the day-to-day, that know what it's like and how to manage all of this stuff. And then you put together an enforcement plan. But you take it out of the NCAA's hands. They've had their chance. They've had their shot. And I think there needs to be a new process, because it's the old definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We haven't gotten a different result.
No, we certainly haven't. Do you see any of these changes happening anytime soon? And then I guess the last one about that would be, do you see any more conference realignment coming? Do you see this thing going to 2 power conferences? Does it go to just one, big mega conference? The ACC right now is an unusual conference in that you have schools out on the West Coast, and the Big Ten has it. Do we see something where it's like, all right, we're just going to play schools geographically closer? Like, how do you see this whole thing shaking out in the next maybe 5 years?
Well, in the last 5 to 6 years, I think the whole thing has been basically about survival, right? We saw what happened with the Pac-12. We saw how aggressive Brett Yormark was with the Big 12 and their survival. Jim Phillips in the ACC in turn, did the same thing. Obviously, as we look at SMU and Cal and Stanford, and it's not ideal, but they've survived because they were aggressive in ensuring that they're still around. I don't think we're ever probably, not in the near future, going to be removed from potential conference realignment. There's too much money involved, and everybody's trying to make sure they got a seat when the music stops. And so once we get to that point where people figure out schedules first, right? Are we going to play 9? Are we going to play 10? Are we going to play 10, 1 Power 4 and 1 FCS, so that money can flood down there? We figure out the scheduling part. Then we figure out, I think, the regional aspect of it, as you mentioned. The television networks are a big part of this, because again, it's all about the finances of the whole entire thing. That's almost as big a mess as how we get the NIL transfer portal deal under wraps. So I don't think it's something that's right on the horizon. I think there are so many details that have to be played out, and quite frankly, agreed to by way too many people, and probably people we don't even know should be involved yet.
Tom, one more for you here, just to take a look back at the Hurricanes. What do you see on their roster? And from speaking to coach and everything, what do you see that leads you to believe that they have a really good chance to win this conference?
So, and one of the things that I think they've done such a really good job of, particularly over the last 3 years, and most people have not gone this route, and it's cost them. Florida State's one of those schools. What Miami has done is they've done a great job of identifying, recruiting, signing, developing, and retaining high school players, right? So that core foundation, that base is there, and you engage those young kids and you play them early so they want to be there, they want to stay there. Then they bring in the incoming players. They're a little bit older, a little bit more experienced, fit their model, but it's not 35, 40 guys like we're seeing across the country. It's a select group because you've been able to retain your high school recruiting perspective. Florida State, conversely, they have not done that. Everything's been transfer portal heavy, very little high school player development. So when the transfer portal guy hasn't worked out, they've had nothing to fall back to.
Yeah.
And you look at guys like Ruben Bain, Mark Fletcher, OJ Frederic, Malachi Tony, heck, the offensive line for basically all of it, they're all high school recruited guys. They weren't portal guys, right? And that's why they're going to be good, because they have a foundation to fall back on.
Tom, I'm going to thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. And thank you.
You bet, man. Thanks for having me.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you to Tom Luganbill for stopping by here with us. We are coming to you live from the ACC kickoff here in Charlotte, part of the Capital One Orange Bowl Media Tour presented by Duffy's. We'll get it back to Joe in Miami coming up after this. But first, I want to tell everyone that DraftKings is live in all 50 states. And yes, that means you, Florida. The cup is down to its final matches. One trophy, one champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now live in Florida. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app right here in Florida. The world's biggest stage in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code 1043WQAM. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code 1043WQAM. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that
Brought to you by Groovy Used Painting. Need to refresh your home? Call.
Thank Woody for the interview yesterday and the ACC meetings and everything we've been talking about. We'll get into some ACC stuff in a little while here and talk more about college football getting ready to kick off and get rolling. I want to get back because we're getting pretty good reaction this morning about this LeBron stuff. And apparently some of you don't want him, which shockingly I have no idea. None. I don't care why you wouldn't want this guy. I have no idea. He comes to our team, even if he waits till next Friday or 2 weeks from now, it's worth it. And by the way, everybody else that's got a chance is saying the same things. Pat Riley made it a point to say something about it yesterday. Giannis talked about it. They want him on the team. And that's the second part. I don't mind if you don't want LeBron. I mean, if you don't, whatever reason, obviously it's hard for me to imagine wouldn't want him because he's going to help you win more games and he's going to make you more relevant through the basketball season. Last year was the first time in a long time nobody talked about Heat basketball. We're not used to that. Nobody talked about Heat basketball. They were just a bunch of first-round picks that didn't really move the meter in the big picture of the NBA. They didn't. And you go out and get it. And if you know Pat Riley, one thing about him, Dave, he wants to win right now. He always says that. There's no rebuild. There will never be. I will never try to just get more ping pong balls. We will not do that. We are trying to friggin' win every year, win the whole damn thing. And so we got some guys going back and forth this morning. We're watching, and I don't want him. And by the way, the distraction thing is weak. You're better than that if you're throwing a distraction thing. There's really no reason to dislike him except you think he's too old. And if you watched him play, if you've really watched him play and you saw him in the Houston series of the playoffs, he was unbelievable. He carried that team without his other two guys that got big contracts out there. He didn't have them. He carried that team at his age in those playoffs against Houston. I don't understand it. Now, listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion about LeBron, and you may not like him for other reasons, although he's been a role model pretty much for what he's done out of high school.
The way he's carrying himself through his career, he's had moments like everybody, but 99% of the time he's a pro. He wants to win. He helps. Teammates love to play with him. He fits into any team. That's why his role on Philadelphia has 3 ball handlers. He wouldn't have to be the ball handler. If he comes to the Heat, they need him to handle the ball and distribute it. And so and he's fine. He could fit into either of those things. The question becomes, what does he want? That's what we haven't heard from. What does he really want?
Well, you kind of step back. He wants to play with guys he likes and respects.
And has a chance
to win. And then the other stuff. I do think when you have some spare time to be able to run down to a golf course, restaurants you like, a place you feel comfortable when you walk out the door. How bad's it going to be? What's the media pressure going to be like? Playing with the right guys. I think all those things come into play, but I think he's got a pretty good feel for this stuff. He really does. I was thinking, because somebody I know is not a fan, and we've gotten into this, and some of it's political, his stuff that he's done, and whatever. So I think, by the way, if it's political for something he's done, is the weakest excuse of all. If you love your sports team, that just to me is the weakest junk that you could ever say. I think the worst thing he ever did was the decision, which was great for us. So why would anybody down here, if the decision that had everybody so pissed off is the worst thing he's ever done? Are you kidding me?
It was the decision and then the introduction. Remember the party? And I thought it was great. I was
Not
there that
one,
night.
Not two, not three. It was great.
I thought
Eric Reed was at his best.
It didn't play nationally like it did locally. I remember when LeBron and the Big Three went to Memphis, like one of their first road games, and he was booed in Memphis. And he came after the game. He asked reporters, like, what did I do to Memphis that they're booing? That was the first moment really set in.
Now he said they shouldn't have a team. Now
he's right. The hotel's bad, but remember how much they were vilified initially. But man. That was the best show to cover for 4 years. You're ever going to.
He was a chosen one coming out of high school, and he's really lived up to everything with the pressure of being the first guy taken, and what he's done in his career.
Well, and to your point, in the community. Now, his community is Akron, and he's bought computers for Akron Elementary School. I mean, virtually, you'd have to have somebody on from there to tell how he's changed, try to improve that world.
Is the other thing bad he's done is what he's done for Bronny? He has done a lot for Bronny.
Well, who wouldn't do it for their son? But in fact, I think the Heat should trade for Bronny right now. So they have 2 spots open. Trade for Bronny. Say, we're holding him here until you make that decision.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway, hey, and we don't change anybody's opinion, and I get it, but there's a reason Pat Riley liked to have him back. That makes this team a lot better. And he did average 21 points a game. He's not going to play 80 games, probably not going to play in the 70s. But I'll take LeBron for 65 games. You take him 65 right now?
Absolutely.
I thought so.
And healthy in the playoffs?
I thought you'd say that.
They're as good as anybody in the East if LeBron comes here.
They're pretty good, yeah. And this probably leads to getting one or another piece.
It's a gravitational force of nature, like a planet pulling in other people. Just like the Big Three did, right? There'll be somebody else to come here.
Start looking at the roster.
Klay
This thing's getting a little better. Now Klay says, hey, I love to get some nice wide open 3-point looks with the 2 big guys under the basket. Let's do this.
That's what LeBron needs. He needs big. He needs big guys to help him out. He doesn't have to do that anymore. So I think Brian Windhorst agrees this is the best fit. He's coming. He goes, I wasn't saying this 2 weeks ago, but the more I think, the more it's played out. So
I'm really starting to like him a lot. I really am. I actually had a great relation with Brian Windhorst. I did. When he was here, came on all the time.
Oh, I respect him.
We got him out in L.A. and stuff. And LeBron beats him up a little bit.
Does.
He thought he was getting a little too using his name a little too much about inside information, and they kind of knocked him back. But he's great with everything. Hey, 7:00 hour's coming up here. Dave Hyde's with us all day, Dan Day, and all day we lost everybody else, man. It's here on a Friday, and I think we got some guys. Woody's up there in North Carolina with the family and finishing up the ACC. I'm going to take a second this morning to talk about something very, very important, mental health. Yeah, I'm talking to some guys out there. Things happen. Yep, things happen to men too, and whether it's a broken down relationship and the way it's ended to losing a job, to other things that affect you, they get you off the road and leads to other problems from depression and anxiety, and you can't do it. Usually you've been able to figure it out on your own, or your buddy's there for you, but sometimes you just need professional help. And that's why I want to tell you about Dr. Barry and his team at Recovery Unplugged, because they have your back. Their mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale is a private, comfortable space to heal with music-based care that hits the right note every day. They accept most major insurance plans. You're going to love the place. Spend a few hours down there to see it for myself. Call 954-737-4508. He's got a great staff. Dr. Barry's been there himself and knows all about it. And, man, they just want to help you. That's what it's all about. Get you back on the road feeling like you used to. Visit recoveryunplugged.com this summer. Are you ready to heal out loud?
WQAM broadcast. WQAM AM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of champions. Home of the 5-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The 3-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the 2-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Doral Volkswagen, home of the price seat to our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or at DoralVW.com. Twin Peaks is unmatched for every match with 29-degree drafts of Michelob Ultra, handcrafted Casamigos margaritas, a scratch-made menu, and screens to put you in the front row every game. It's all going down at the Lodge. Twin Peaks, Eat Streets, Scenic Views. Tomorrow here in South Florida, France versus England, 5 o'clock for the third-place game. Then the championship game of the World Cup, Argentina going to be taking on Spain Sunday at 3. The Marlins and Sandy Alcantara get started on the second half of the season against the Brewers at 7:40 tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo officially announced as a member of the Heat yesterday. Pat Riley says the team's still open to LeBron James. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free gift and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures around 90 with a chance of rain in the afternoon. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back here for the 7 o'clock hour on a Friday. Man, hope everybody out there, appreciate, by the way, always being with us and a lot of stuff. LeBron, well, we don't know yet. See, everybody's starting to get more fired up talking about this same story every day. Not just in all the cities that he might go to, whether you're in Golden State out in the Bay Area, whether you're in Cleveland, Miami, who else thinks they got a chance? Philly, I'm guessing, still thinks they've got a chance. They're talking about A-Rod and Minnesota thinks they have a chance, and all these places. And he goes, I'm not ready yet, man. I'm just not ready. And Dave Hyde's with us. Dave, you seem to think like it might happen today.
I think it's dragged out long enough. He's got.
Well, if he said he's not ready yesterday, what, he get one night's sleep and go,
yeah,
now I feel better?
I'm ready. This is
it. Just,
I mean,
if
it's not today, he's got a platform in New York. He's got a FanDuel conference or something. Then when? I mean, what could change? Maybe he's not ready. I mean, it's his decision, and he could take 2 more weeks. And
what's frustrating, he probably knows where he's going.
He probably knows where,
and he knows everything. He knows every strength and weakness of every team, from front office to coaching and how they coach and the players. He knows what every guy can do. He stays on top of all that stuff.
And at some point, no team's breaking the bank for him. They're getting a bargain wherever he goes. $6 to $7 million.
Made it a lot more attractive for 21 points a night.
So everybody's going to keep that money out there for them, if it's next week or next month or January or whenever. But at some point, he's got to be fair to all these teams and say, here's where I'm going, right? He's just got to.
I don't think he's worried about being fair to any of those teams.
Well,
I think he and his group going, I've done stuff for the league.
He's right. He's right about that, and he's right. Everybody will be waiting for him no matter what.
Yeah.
But it just to move on, just to start the next chapter. It's time.
Woody was getting a little frustrated, and he goes, he's going to be a distraction. Well, you heard it, and he's going to be a distraction. Enough. Why is he doing this? And I see Stephen A. saying the same thing. How much attention do you need, and how long is this going to go on? And you know what you're doing. This is ridiculous. Meanwhile, everybody's complaining. There'll be NBA shows today that will focus on, give us an update here 24 hours later. What's LeBron doing? I mean, those guys had nothing fresh.
I was going to say, nobody knows. Nobody has any, nothing's coming out of.
They're rewriting papers.
Rich Paul has done some podcasts, his own podcast interviews. But basically said,
he's saying the same stuff too.
It's not saying much. And
you know what this is? This is, and I'm not saying I did this, but this is the old paper in the fraternity that got everybody to be in this class. And the guy would just say, hey, just take a few different words and put them in there. and mix it up a little bit. But and that's kind of what this is like. It's like everybody's still saying the same thing. The insiders, those 3 or 4 guys, like, hey, what do you got today?
They don't have anything. There's
nowhere
to go. Just they're repeating themselves.
He's getting closer. Yeah, we know he's getting closer. Anyway, it's been a crazy one. And I got to tell you another one, man, why we're here on a Friday, and this is our last weekend of the World Cup, this Argentina and Spain, which Messi going to be coming back to Inter Miami after this tournament, where he has been absolutely sensational. 1 win away from winning back-to-back World Cups, and by being the biggest reason that they've won back-to-back World Cups. He's got to be the greatest of all time. And again, I don't know, for those of you that follow it, are my age and been following soccer as your number one sport, and you might be from another country and know a hell of a lot more. It's hard for me to imagine anybody has played at his level. He's been on all the big teams, spent a lot of time at Barcelona. He's a Barcelona guy, basically, but he played some other places. Didn't go as well. PSG thing did not go well. But what he has done, and the biggest thing you do is play for your country, by far. What he has done, I can't imagine anybody's better, ever. And we don't say that. We've truly, this is the first time we've ever said the greatest of all time.
Well, you don't hear the Ronaldo supporters.
No, that
debate has gone.
He looked like a statue.
Now
he just didn't do much.
The question now is he the GOAT of GOATs? Is he the greatest athlete of all time?
The athlete.
Then we got
Did you just
Muhammad
go
Ali?
Yeah.
No, I did. Muhammad Ali, Tom Brady. Bring it locally. Who's Michael Jordan?
Well, let me ask you, who's been the most dominant guy in football? I happen to agree that it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, to me, it's Brady.
Because it's about the first 2 things and be stats and championships. And he wins stats and championships. And by the way, durability, he played a long time.
And then the fact that he went from New England and won in Tampa Bay added another dimension to his.
Well, it's 2 games. He got 2 games. Got the great comeback against Atlanta in the Super Bowl, and the win away from Belichick at Tampa Bay. Yeah. By the way, the numbers he put up in Tampa Bay for 3 years. Are you kidding? So yeah. I don't know if there's another guy. I think Jerry Rice is by far the greatest receiver of all time. Now, I break it down because I think there's guys who are better athletes. Randy Moss and T.O. but nobody's.
But then you go eras. If we're talking football, Jim Brown was a difference maker. Now longevity thing isn't with him. He quit to be a actor.
Yeah.
But it's
Messi.
How do you compare sports
and a sport that's been played for so long and all over the world? That's the other thing. It's not some. We're the only ones really playing football. We got other leagues out there, little semi-pro leagues when we go to different countries, but nothing like it's here. And people are playing.
You know who's going to challenge is Ohtani, though. Pitcher. If he keeps pitching like this and hitting like this,
I agree.
We need years. I
know.
You need longevity, but no, you're not.
No, I look at what he's doing is fantastic. Are you kidding?
But it's got to go on another decade before he gets in this conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if he right now, but there are people that are saying, "Oh, he's the greatest of all time." From what we see,
I mean, if Messi wins the Golden Boot, now he's tied with Mbappe right now. But if he scores in this last game and they win,
but stats and championships that he's had in
age now
leagues,
and durability and
what he's doing at he's 39 years old.
I love the story.
A 39-year-old is winning games for you, and every night it seems like we're saying he was the best player. He was the best player. He was the best player. Sometimes he didn't score a goal, but he makes 2 great passes, sets guys up, and the guys still have to finish. But man, it's been a hell of a story. It really has. Can't say enough. And we've got him here in our backyard with Inter Miami under contract this year and next year with his extension, right?
Yeah.
So I said this to the Moss family. They don't want to listen to me. They need to have a statue up there, man. That statue ought to be up there right now for fans to, when they come, even on an off day, to be able to go over there and see that statue.
He already has a section named for him.
The section doesn't do it.
That's a starting point. I'm sure a statue they can.
That statue, and usually we don't put statues up till somebody's done playing.
Right.
But this is a unique situation.
You want a statue now?
I'm trying to help them with their marketing. They don't want to listen. The Moss brothers do not listen.
Did you tell them to sign Casimiro? You didn't.
I know there's more coming though. I get it. I don't know what's the deal. We got a different. I still haven't quite figured that out between the book and everything. How are they able? And I get a lot of guys want to come here and play. If I got to go to the United States and play in that league, I want to make good money and I want to go to Miami.
I think they said Apple TV will give this much money for the league if we get Messi, and we're all for it. But how the whole salary cap, I mean,
I've never seen a guy do more commercials than Messi and never have to say a word.
Never say a word. That's
he smiles. They're kicking the ball around him. Occasionally he'll kick one, but he just stands here and he's making tens of millions of dollars.
Now I have seen at this World Cup, he's done more interviews. I see him after games doing interviews than, I mean, he hadn't done an interview here in 3 years, and that's fine. I'm not complaining.
He can't do one of those Levon Hernandez, I love you, Miami. He can't give us one.
That'd be it. Now,
I love you, Miami.
And evidently him and Jude Bellingham had a emotional conversation during the English game. And Messi's response afterwards was he said something in English and I didn't quite understand it, which I get as someone who tries to speak Spanish. So that was part of their emotional conversation. He was like, what are you saying?
That's all right. My wife has to tell me when the workers are saying somebody's working in a yard or something, and she'll give me a heads up on.
Meanwhile, we got All Day Danday playing Carol G during the breaks, bringing in with that.
I don't know.
We're going.
I didn't know how to handle that. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what to do with that. So anyway, we've got the LeBron Giannis. Welcome, man. Welcome to you and Bobby Portis. Great to have you. Can't wait. And saying all the right things and having Pat Riley out there and Eric Spoelstra never gets old. It was great to see those guys there and see how we're going to finish this thing up. And whether one way or the other, with or without LeBron, there's still another piece to get out there of a guy you're going to know a lot about, and see if we can't get him for a really good, solid year, whether it's Klay Thompson, DeMar DeRozan. There's guys going to be bought out of contracts, and there's some free agents still out there.
You know what I loved yesterday, though? I wrote a Substack column, substack.com. You Google it, but
you did that. You put it out last night.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I loved the personality you saw from Giannis. Now we know the player, but it's part of getting a star like this. Okay, what's he like? Shaq came in the diesel truck and this big squirt gun.
That's his personality. It was great.
Giannis was real personable. He talked about coming to Miami as a player for Milwaukee and a young player. And one of the things he did, he snuck around the Heat office because he wanted and looked at Pat Riley's office to see what he was like. He wanted to see more of the great Pat Riley.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting to hear, a star like that, the guy who's grown into a star, talk about how he viewed the Heat.
I think Pat Riley's still one of those guys. It's just me, maybe not. And I know you're a big fan. That when you know a guy's resume, when he talks to you, you feel good. When he says, hey, you're having a great career, man, or whatever, even if it's to a visiting player or one of his own, it means something. When he takes you aside and goes, you're doing great, it means something.
I don't think he does that, Joe. I don't think he's not. I've talked about. He's not a guy who fraternizes with opposing GMs, opposing president. Now he knows some, obviously, through the years, but I think he keeps.
You don't think he does,
himself? Huh? No, I think he. Now,
look at we would jump over a fence to get something positive out of Shoes just to make you, because he really could ruin your day or could make your day by little things that he did. And I'm not saying he ever got real, man. Come over here. I want to see. Oh my God. You're doing so well. Man, just This is great. Because
did he talk like that sometimes?
No.
Shoot, I was going to say, okay.
No, he was like the biggest compliment, you're still on the team. That was his thing. I told you, he my rookie year, right down to the wire, they're pulling guys out that morning, cutting guys that morning. Last cuts are being made, and the final, and then we got team meeting at 10 o'clock, and they asked all of us they gave us a list of guys they wanted early. Rookies all come in early. Now Don McNeil came in early, but he was safe. Dwight Stevenson, they were safe. But as you go down to those 12 rounds, you're sitting there by your locker. They said, please be at your locker by a certain time, 7 a.m. So you get up early. You don't sleep well that night before because you don't know for sure. There's only 45 guys. And Carl Tassif. I know Carl's got people in the family still around, and I don't want to take shots at him. But anybody that enjoys being the Mad Turk and cutting people is really a bad guy. And I know somebody's got to do it, but I always felt like he enjoyed it, and that really pissed me off. So he's walking around, and I felt like he taunted guys. Like, kind of got close to you, and then he walked by, but he'd stop. And you're waiting because he tapped you on the shoulder, and they would say, bring your playbook, and Coach Shula wants to see you. So that's going on, and so nobody comes, and Don Strock is by my locker, and he says, hey, kid, you're good. Let's go. There was no patting. It was just right into the meeting. It's the coldest feeling. It's not like you friggin' made it. You made it. You're on the team. We go in and we sit down, and this guy that now I've been around for 2 months of my life, right out of college, and he gets up in front of the team and he says, hey, this is our roster right now. This is what we're going to start the year with. But if you don't play well, we're going to be making changes. And so don't get comfortable. Understand we got Buffalo with week 1. We got Buffalo. You guys need to play well, especially you young guys.
So it changed from one type of stress to another type of stress.
So I literally, I didn't call my parents for, back then it was just, hard line to make the call on a payphone outside of St. Thomas. And I left. I didn't know how to feel. It wasn't like, you make the team and you're good. And the guys got a little more security now, but it was the weirdest thing. Every week, you're right. It was stress every week. It was a great motivational tool. But the way he said that, I didn't. There were a lot of guys who were comfortable. Hell, I got guys who were on the team that were from the Super Bowl undefeated team on that team. But it was weird. It was the weirdest thing.
Did you ever get comfortable?
No.
No.
I wasn't good enough to be comfortable. But I will tell you, it was good for me because I was a little wild child coming out of Berkeley a little bit. And I saw right away that because I'd never been around anybody like him. And I was warned, like there were former players that went from Cal that came home and off season were in the Bay Area, said, hey, they told us 2 things. I was playing basketball one day and Steve Barkowski and Wesley Walker were around school. And I go, hey, man, what's up? And they, hey, congratulations. Hey, man, you know what you're in for at camp? I go, no, not really. Why? He said, he's got the hardest camp, and you're going to go hard sometimes 3 times a day in that humidity. I go, oh, I didn't know that. They go, he's really tough. He might be the toughest coach in football because everybody knew everybody's camps. And that was, and I'm getting ready to jump on a plane to go back and run that 12-minute run. And I went, holy crap. That gets your attention, man. That gets your, now, of course, anybody's late, listen to me. I'm like, anyway, we got to go to break here. Hold your thoughts with me there, man. We got a lot more stuff to get to. Gary, Harvey, hey, man, great having you guys. Harvey Cohn and Gary Judah, the partners of Cohn and Judah, injury law firm, personal injury attorneys. Hey, I hope you never go through that slip and fall or that automobile accident. God, I saw a couple of them yesterday driving between Coral Gables and Miami. It was a rough day yesterday. Saw some of that stuff. And I was thinking, I hope these guys call Harvey Cohn and Gary Judah. I do. I hope they do it because I know what kind of treatment they're going to be getting, and it's special treatment. And I just want to say this to everybody out there. if you are at another law firm right now and the name that you have seen and his commercials you've seen from some of those law firms and those people that are part of the partnership there, and you're going, that's who I want to represent me. And you find out when you get there and you meet with them that they're not going to have anything to do. They weren't even in the day you went in there. And they do that handoff thing to attorneys that are there, been there for a couple years, that have a load of 300 or 400 cases they're working on. Why would you not go to somebody that has a law firm that actually is going to represent you from start to finish, big enough to go to trial and get you multi-million-dollar results, small enough just to call you back? They believe that it's very, very important for you to have great communication with your clients, and they do. 35 years of experience, both Harvey and Gary. Man, I'm telling you, they go at it for you. They do. Not to mention, huge Dolphin fans. Go to ConanJudah.com, 866 fair fee. You know, you can always leave if you're not real happy and you don't feel like you're very important in the law firm you are with this injury you've been through. You don't have to go through this. All you have to do is go to Harvey Cohn and Gary Judah. I think you'll be very happy. Read the reviews when you go to ConanJudah.com. And remember this, they don't pay other lawyers to do the work you hire them to do.
WQA.
All day, Dan Day. Woody's going to join us from the ACC meetings coming up here in just a few minutes, and we'll talk to him about all the Dabo Swinney ACC stuff that's going on up there, and teams that might be a threat to the University of Miami, which is absolutely loaded. Speaking of high expectations, let me ask you, to win a championship right now, we got some teams in really good shape. Panthers, Kachuk brothers together. I know we don't know about the goalie, but they got the core back and got a little extra time off to get healthy. So we got Panthers. We got Giannis now. We'll see what it looks like and what else might happen over the next week or two with the Heat. We got the Canes football team. Those three. Just to be fair, I'm going to leave MLS and Messi out of it because they're going to be in great shape too. But of those three teams, who's got the best? Really, to me, it comes down to Panthers and the Canes football team. It's got the best. See, this is what happens when student athletes are getting paid. This is what happens. So anyway, let me ask you, who's got a better chance to win a championship this year?
The Panthers have done it twice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you had to put money on it, I'd say that they'll do it again because they know how to do it. They've been through it. Now, you're right. There are some changes. Markstrom is the goalie now. So that's a big it's a big question. If you're
Bill Zito, trust him, I trust him.
Right, that's what it comes down to.
Bill Zito gets he's getting anything he does, like, all right, Bill.
It's all everything.
I don't even question it. Yeah.
So
I'm on the radio. I can't even question it.
So I'd have to go with the Panthers. But if the Heat get LeBron, all of a sudden they got guys who have won titles. You know, Giannis has won a title, 2-time MVP. Yeah. LeBron knows how to win.
Yeah, no.
Then you go to and they were right on the cusp of it last year. Now, so much changes in college football from new quarterback, new lines, but the structure and discipline that Mario's put in there isn't going to change.
No question. But I have said, and listen, there've been a lot of great podcasts out with all our teams now, and the guys that do them are do a really good job. They're knowledgeable about the teams. They get good information, and paying these guys a compliment here this morning. But I look at I've looked at it before everybody just decides, and the hardcore Canes fans. I said, listen, man, there gotta be some growth, man. That offensive line last year, they had 3 of them got drafted. 3. I don't know the last time we had three offensive linemen drafted. And you had 3. And on top of that, they got a lot of starts. Those guys had a lot of starts, a lot of experience on that offensive line. And look at what you have now. Now, the upside of this thing could be first-round pick off the charts, starting with Cantwell at right tackle. But there's going to be some growing pains, man. Maui Noah didn't just step in day one and kick ass. That just didn't happen. He was good. Don't get me wrong. He got better and better, but there were some holding calls. There were some rough times, and there's going to be some growth. And with that is growing pains, and growing pains mean bad plays. I just you can't look past that. And the second thing you can't look past, no matter how good the guys that came in and filled in for your 2 pass rushers last year, they were really good. They were
first round picks.
When somebody makes you a first round pick, and I only mean at the end of the first round, like, you're really freaking good. And on top of that, they were as good on run as they were pass. They were great on we're sitting here talking about can Chop stand up against the run on the outside. I know these two can. These two can get after it. So Mesidor and Ruben Bain, of course. So yeah, you can't just, and then, they had 2 playmakers in the secondary that were, they got drafted in the first
9 players off the last year were drafted. 9. So almost half the starters.
4 of those guys were impactful players. They got drafted pretty high. I don't remember what round the two safeties went.
Third round. Keon Scott won the third round.
Okay.
And I can't remember, but the point being, they had when you have 9 guys drafted, it isn't 3 first rounders. But it was a deep roster for talent,
No,
and so
unbelievable.
So they're replacing a lot of guys, but they've done it before.
They have.
They're bringing in a veteran,
but
quarterback.
there's gonna be some growing pains.
They got a schedule for growing pains.
They do.
I mean, they got
You're
4
saying
games they should
before they play Clemson.
Before Clemson, they go to Clemson, and that Clemson I saw out of the ACC meetings 14-1 favorite to win. So they're 4th favorite to win the ACC.
Well, Dabo Swinney did a lot of talking.
He
did a lot of talking yesterday about we're back and I'm feeling different. I've come around. I've grown as a transfer portal. I've done it.
He's seen the light.
I've seen the light, brothers.
And the light is you can't live in the past.
Yeah.
He was the old way that,
hey,
I'm never going to go transfer portal.
Speaking of that, we got Woody up there at the ACC, had breakfast. We gave him a chance to have breakfast, get something to eat, get some, the buffet up there is fantastic. The breakfast, I missed that breakfast. It was outstanding. Anyway, we'll have that coming up here. We'll talk to Woody about some of the news up there at the ACC before he starts a little vacation. Hurricane season is here, man. Time to call Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing. I know you've been thinking about it. And, hey, why not? Why not get them in the mix there and find out what they have to say? I think you're going to be real happy. Their window Hurricane Category 5 rated. Loctite Impact provides 100% financing with 0 down, no interest, no payments for 1 year. That'll help you. How about that old leaky roof? What are you doing, man? Replace that roof now and pay later. Plus 24/7 roof repairs. If you don't get a brand new roof, let them come out and fix it and at least get you through hurricane season and all these crazy rains we get in the afternoon. Best part, Impact Windows as low as $6 per month per window installed. You don't have to wait for the next storm. Get a deal of a lifetime today. Keep your home protected. Whether it's in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, it doesn't matter. Loctite is going to be there for you, doing it all. And so you're looking, not sure. You got a lot of choices, but there's only one Loctite. Call today, 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff. I mean, a really good staff. To answer all your questions and get this whole thing started, go to LoctiteImpact.com. You can learn more about Chev and his team at Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing.
The Joe Rose Show is presented
And listen to any part of any show you might have missed. Anytime.
And now, it's time for Hollywood's headlines. Without further ado, here's Hollywood.
Well, let's go up to North Carolina. ACC kickoff. Woody, how you doing, bud? How's everything up there?
I'm great. How are you doing back there? How's everything going?
We're doing good. No word on LeBron. You know, now people are getting salty
I've been listening
everywhere.
to you guys I've been listening to you guys for the last hour, sitting here, and sounds like we're back in 2010 all over again.
Waiting for the last decision. Yeah.
We're waiting for someone to say, the plane. Riley's trying to land.
Yeah,
the plane.
Riley's big on, we need another plane now. We've gone to the plane. So.
Yeah, and by the way, Dave, it's Fanatics Fest, not FanDuel Fest.
Oh, Fanatics Fest. Thank you.
Come on, Dave.
Yeah, I got to
show
keep
the memorabilia community some love here, all right?
You are beautiful. Hey, Wood, I want to ask you, Dabo Swinney, man, he got his mojo back a little bit here, huh? He's not whining about the transfer portal and the system. We screwed it up, and he's not fighting it anymore. Boy, he's become a good trooper lately.
Yeah, so I actually interviewed him yesterday. We'll put that up on the website, WQAM.com, and he did seem to be a little less resistant to the transfer portal and the new rules and everything. And he, I asked him about, how you could fix college football, and he gave me his answer, and put that interview up there. But Joe, that's the thing. I've been up here for a few days now, and everyone's got a different theory or whatever on how to fix college football. I will also tell you that there's not no coach that I've interviewed so far that's not particularly optimistic about their team.
Well, you better
no
be.
coach has sat down yet and said, well, we'd be lucky to get to 5 wins.
Yeah. Hey, you better not do that, Woody. Woody, that's not good. You got your alumni and your student body and everybody waiting, and you're going to your AD and president, and you go, well, you don't look very good this year, but boy, I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get recruiting for next year.
But Dabo is a little out there when he said, we're going to be back. We're going to win it again. I don't know if it's this year, but we're going to do it.
He knows the history lesson of how many he's won ACC championships. He knows that.
That's true.
Yeah, well, look, they don't have any trouble getting talent over there, obviously.
No.
And I to be honest, guys, I think he was humbled by last season. They had won in double digits in 10-something years in a row or whatever. They were. I think he was a little humbled from last season.
Yeah, what a crazy one. Hey, how do you feel about the ACC, Woody, overall? I'm just curious.
Well, Joe, it's funny because you look at teams like Wake Forest. We're going to talk to the Wake Forest coach today. They've won 70 games over the last 10 years. You look at Duke. Duke has back-to-back 9-win seasons. So a lot of these teams that you don't really think of as football schools or anything like that, they've been quietly kind of playing some good ball. And these are unfortunately the kind of schools that have tripped Miami up over the years here. But quietly, a lot of these teams are putting together good rosters, Joe. They're winning a lot of games, and so I think that's kind of where the ACC gets overlooked.
Who do you think's the second best team from what everybody's saying? I've been listening to everybody, and I keep hearing SMU and Louisville, who we don't have to sell us on that. We saw it firsthand last year down here with the Miami Hurricanes. But who else? And Clemson's talking about being back. What?
Yeah, I think I'd probably throw Clemson into that conversation. I mean, Joe, I don't know. It's so tough to tell. Look who was in the ACC championship game last year.
Yeah, you're right. Duke and Virginia.
It's really everyone that I've spoke to loves their roster. They tell us they've hit the transfer portal. They got the quarterback. They got the pieces. Everyone's kind of saying that from up here. But I do agree. SMU and Louisville are probably realistically the next two, and then I think you throw Clemson in that mix. They do have on paper, Joe, they have a really solid roster.
Got to figure out the quarterback thing. I guess everybody's talking about who's going to be the starting quarterback, who's going to be the backup with what he has. But you're right. Dabo's going to have talent. He's always going to have. That school's built up pretty damn good tradition of what they've been able to do until
so
recently.
their opening game, they go at LSU. They're going to play Lane Kiffin.
Ouch.
Guys.
Speaking of opening games, I don't know anything about Stanford other than Andrew Luck, I assume, is still the athletic director out there. I don't hear them. When I look at the rankings of ACC, they're not anywhere near the top. What is?
Yeah, that's a good
Stanford?
one. Yeah.
Well, we're actually not doing any interviews with any of the California teams out of protest.
Are you still mad?
We saw the Cal banner.
By the way, are you still mad that they brought the 2 Bay Area teams from Northern California? Is it still bothered they have to travel? Okay.
I think the opening game is going to be a late night for us. I'm not, particularly thrilled.
What is that? A Friday night game? Is that what I think it is? A Friday.
I think
game.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, though, guys, you have not heard much from the 2 California schools.
You better be careful because they'll bite you right on the ass. They're good.
I'm guessing, Dave, to answer your question, Miami will be very significant favorites in that that opener. Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Oh man. Hey, Wood, playoffs. We're gonna stay at 12 for a while because they can't all agree, or does something change soon? What's the feeling up there?
I think the feeling, Joe, is that everyone seems to have, again, different ideas of like how to fix college football. And I think the overwhelming thing that I've heard about this playoff thing is, while some people are in favor for it because they're just like the more football, the better. Other people are like, logistically, it will be very, very tricky to pull this off, right? I mean, you're talking about you'd have to change the calendars around, and you're also talking about letting in a lot of teams that do not have legitimate chances to win. And I understand that people like to watch, if someone brought this up the other day, like they would like to watch the Cinderella in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, that happens in college basketball. How often do we see it in college football? It's really kind of rare. Like we had 2 teams get in last year that were from the group of 5 and they got smashed.
So what's going to happen here. The 2 big conferences are going to try to get extra teams in. They're going to go, they have 3 losses, but look at this, look at their schedule and what they've done. So, they're going to be the big winners. It's going to be the SEC and Big Ten will end up getting more teams in, and everybody else will get the leftovers in this if they go up. I agree. I don't think we have 12 teams that have a chance to win every year.
No. And I also do think eventually you're going to see those conferences start to expand, and that was another thing we were talking about last night. I pulled my best Joe Rose last night and went out, had some drinks at the media function, and that's what people were talking about. These conferences eventually expanding, and they'll start to cherry pick teams out of the ACC or the Big 12, whatever they want to take, right? And then those conferences will kind of be forced to figure out the leftovers and see if they can survive.
Woody, a year ago, the big story out of where you are right now was Bill Belichick, and here we are 10 minutes into talking. We nobody's talking about Bill Belichick. Give us an update.
I wouldn't do anything.
Are they going to be any better?
Have you seen him?
I haven't seen him. I saw someone from North Carolina in the elevator. I don't even know what day they're here. Guys, to be honest, he is beyond irrelevant here. Nobody cares anymore.
Really?
It's nobody cares. I haven't heard one person talk about Bill Belichick. I don't know when he's speaking. I don't know when his team is here. Nobody cares. And you know what? Again,
his girlfriend cares.
You got to play. You have to play. You have to play the game, right? He can't act like he's too big to do interviews and, too big to talk to to people individually and stuff like that. That stuff might have flown in the NFL where you're respected despite all the cheating stuff, but you can't.
You got that shot.
Can't do that here. You can't do that here.
Well, first of all, he's got to do his draft, right? It's all money, and you don't have to do all that ass kissing recruiting you have to do and show up, and he just can't do it. He just can't do this stuff. I
don't think he's going to be happy being on the sideline getting his butt kicked again, though. So, I mean, he has to do it if he wants to stay in the job, right?
Yeah, but that just tells you the fact that I would have thought the same thing. The AD calls you and says, look, you got to get out and recruit. We're paying you a lot of money, and you got a budget. You got to get out. There's no draft here, and there's no free agents, and they don't want to hear about your 300 NFL wins. You got to go out and and start telling some Tom Brady stories and going out to some homes and talking about Gronk and how you did it and what you're going to do. I don't think he likes why would you?
Joe, here's the deal. Here's the deal with Belichick. I've told you this from the beginning, and you've kind of fought me on this. I am telling you that there are no 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids that care or probably even know what he did in the NFL. They just don't care.
Well, he hadn't been gone that long. Come on.
They all know for long enough that these guys don't care, man. I am telling you, there's just no question that these young guys, it doesn't move the needle for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, Woody, you gonna stay with us, or are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
You gonna
man.
be
I
around?
got nowhere to go.
All right. I thought you got another full day up there of work. Or you heading?
We're
out?
actually going to talk to Manny Diaz today.
Good. I like
later
Manny,
on
man.
today.
I got no problems with Manny. And Manny friggin' won the ACC championship.
How about that?
He won the ACC championship, man. I don't care how many games, what you did, you won the ACC championship. And they put the Manny Diaz rule in now. There's a new Manny Diaz rule, so it doesn't happen again like that with all those losses. Yeah. Anyway, hey, Woody, we'll be back with you, bud. We got to go to break here right now. We got to talk about something very important that I talk to you personally about a lot. That's Atlantic Men's Clinic and what it's doing for so many guys out there. It's Friday, man. I hope you're not going through another weekend of dragging around. I'm tired. I got no energy. My sex drive is gone. I don't have anything to look forward to. I'm tired. Honey, can I just stay home on Friday? I'm too tired. Do you mind? We'll do something Saturday. Maybe we'll do something Sunday. Hey, man, if you're tired of always being tired and your energy level, and by the way, you're still eating the same amount of food and you're not exercising, you're not moving around like you used to, you know what happens, right? 20 pounds. Hello there. Where'd you come from? Well, if you want to get rid of that, Atlantic Men's Clinic can do it for you, man. Professional. Was over there yesterday, man, getting tested and checking levels, and they're just wonderful, man. How you doing, Joe? How do you feel? 2.5 years. I got the guys over there. They're fantastic. The staff, top to bottom, Atlantic Men's Clinic. Look, if you're going through, and every guy's going to go through this, low T and ED. It's every guy. You're not like, I don't have it. I got 3 or 4 guys in my life. I don't have it. Yeah, you do. You do, but you don't have to tell me about it. I don't care. But if you want to get rid of it, and you have to tell anybody, go to Atlantic Men's Clinic. Set up that that first appointment, 877-455-7300. You get the PSA test. You meet with their professional staff. Everything is first class. They look at your numbers, and then they put a program together for you to get great results. How would you like to turn back the clock 10 or 15 years, maybe more, where you feel your sex drive is back, your energy level is just, you're going, wow. You wake up one day, I remember, and I go, wow, I just feel a lot better. I don't know, this thing works. I feel really good. Energy all day long. I go, man, this feels good in my 60s to feel like this. Go to Atlantic Men's Clinic. You're going to get great results. Tell them Joe Rose said to hey, can you set me up like you did, Joe? 7 locations in South Florida to serve you. Brand new one in Hollywood. I was in Plantation yesterday. Call them, 877-455-7300 or visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. Atlantic Men's Clinic. Don't go another weekend without it. Set up that appointment today. It works.
3733.
Doral Volkswagen, home of the price seat to our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or DoralVW.com. After the first day at the Open Championship, American Jackson Suber leads all by one stroke. 5 under. Day 2 continues today. Giannis Antetokounmpo officially announced as a member of the Heat. Pat Riley keeping the door open for LeBron James. The Marlins, Sandy Alcantara takes the mound tonight, 7:40 against the Milwaukee Brewers. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s with a slight chance of rain as the afternoon goes on. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
We landed the plane. Now there's another one we have to land. Pat Riley. Going with the planes, man. Going with the planes. And nice planes, I might add. Nice planes, as yesterday belonged to the Miami Heat, man. Good stuff. Giannis. Bobby Portis, congratulations, man. Thanks coming down here, agreeing to get traded down here. And Pat Riley, I think a lot of Heat fans should be jacked up. You know what the upside of Giannis is, a healthy Giannis. And Bobby Portis ain't bad either. So
Bobby Portis says some really interesting things. You know, he's a veteran. He's been around, talked about the importance of winning at this point. He talked about he's only a six, come off the bench. That's what he does. He's a six man. And
you don't get a lot of guys that do that.
Right. And so, again, we're talking about guys coming in here. Giannis knows he's the guy. Everybody knows their role. If LeBron comes, he knows he doesn't have to be the guy. And that's important. Look, he's 41, 42. That's important to him.
You went right back to the LeBron.
I did.
You went right back to the plane we're trying to get. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. And nobody has anything new to say on this whole
No, by the way, we're having a good laugh because they have those same guys coming up there and going, all right, well, what's the latest today? Well, it's not about money. Well, you told us that the last month, every day.
Although, remember, this was the first words from Pat Riley and the Heat in a while. And his opening statement, his opening statement, as he's introducing Giannis and saying how happy he is that he's here, he said he brought up the plane. We landed one plane, and there's another one out there. And he was talking to LeBron right then.
Yeah, no question.
We want you, big guy.
Well, the Heat's sitting back watching Golden State. He mentioned Steve Kerr, and they're all talking. And Draymond and podcast route. LeBron, of course, I talked to him about, thought I did a pretty good job of recruiting them and what we have, and we know how to play winning basketball. We've proven that, and you know what's funny? I just don't see LeBron as a Bay Area guy.
Don't see it. Oh, Bay Area guys. You don't see. I just don't see a fit on that, in that conference, on that team. If he wants to win, they'll win, but they won't be the winner. They have no chance of being the winner if he goes there.
It's funny. Lakers had a really good year last year. They won a lot of games. Where they finished, third or fourth in the West. They, kind of forget. Now, problem is you got two of your three best players injured.
When they were healthy, they went on a big run.
Yeah, they did.
And then the injuries, and they weren't going to get past Oklahoma City or San Antonio.
No.
Both of them. They weren't going to get past.
They got swept.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't gonna happen. So anyway, this we're waiting on this, and then of course after this and what LeBron does, then you got Klay Thompson and DeMar DeRozan, and I don't know who else could be in that group. There's probably some other guys they're looking at that going to have a chance to. They might buy out. The big thing is buy out. Percentage on the dollar here, and you do that, and then you're free to go out and find a new home, and the Heat's going to try to hit that and really sell. Come play with Giannis, the best they can. So we'll see. On top of that, we got, I see they're promoting the hell our local TV, and they should. We don't get the World Cup every year, or we don't get this many matches. First time it's ever happened. And so Argentina and Spain in the World Cup final, 3:00 on Sunday. And so we'll see if Messi can do back-to-back. Yeah, just lock it down. Just drop the mic if he wins this game.
There's only 2 back-to-backs in World Cup history. And it isn't like it happens. It's not a thing like, somebody stays
with him
on
playing
top.
the way he is too. this is not like he's just a little piece of a team that's he's been the main piece. Nobody thought he's going to play this well. Nobody thought he's going to play this well. He does this in that MLS, that league, that minor league soccer league. He's doing it against the big guys.
Yeah, I was curious because I didn't think. Again, I thought he's lost a step. He's 39. He can still play, but he's not dominant.
Yeah,
like
he has lost. He obviously does.
Well, he walks a lot, but the point is, at that position, you're going to get 4 or 5 chances a game in a good game, sometimes less, that make a difference, and it'll be like 5 seconds, and he's made the difference on those plays every game.
Is anybody? I'm just again as an outsider looking in. Anybody more accurate with shots and passes than he is? He's as good in that corner kick as I've ever seen. And then when he's just out and he's feeding it into those guys or timing it up to, set themselves up to.
Well, they do have the movie Bend It Like Beckham. So Beckham you're going to a place I can't talk on soccer history and who's the best, but his pass the other day, you could watch that 50 times and say, God, how did it get in? How did he put it in there?
How about the short hop goal to tie it up in another game they had like that? He's just been, and again, I just have this vision of the Moss brothers just sitting back and eating popcorn and just enjoying the hell out of this, going, man, this is great for business.
And all MLS saying, yep.
We are great for, I don't know the rest of them. I can't speak for the rest of them on the cheap there, but boy, the Moss.
Well, you don't see.
I never thought it was going to explode like this for them. And I'm not saying whatever. And there are a lot of people listening going, I'd never go to a soccer game. I don't care who's playing. But this, I didn't think he's going to play like this.
You go to see the best in any profession, though, whether it's sports or arts or movie, whatever. And so now you're seeing that, okay, he's the best. It sort of puts that silly fan spat into perspective that I didn't understand what they wanted him to wave to him, and they, now it's like, wait, you're getting a chance to see the greatest show in soccer, and don't get caught up in the little nonsense.
Listen, man, Woody and I have spent a lot of time. Wood's up in at the ACC meetings at the kickoff there for the conference, wrapping it up today. Woody, this thing, have you been a little shocked Messi's been as good as he is?
Yes, to be honest, Joe, because, well, not shocked, but, we talk about this, before I left, he's playing in this MLS league, right? And we see him dominating. And I think a lot of people have just been like, well, you're playing against minor league players. So the fact that he's able to step up in class and do this at that level, I think has been very impressive.
Yeah, it's a great story. It really is.
It's one thing to do it against the minor leagues, or whatever the MLS is considered. But
it's interesting when England got a little tough physical with them, and other games, as soon as the way the Argentinian team comes around and they're pushing them out, the other team out of the way, and they're taking care of him.
He's got a feisty team with him.
If I was the Caitlin Clark's team in Indiana, I would have them watch how they protect Messi. Because that's what, you go around. Some teams need to learn how to do that and how they respect Messi inside the Argentinian team.
Let me ask you a question, man. We stay away from it because it's going to do nothing but get me kicked off the air, this WNBA thing. It truly, I'll get fired. I'm dead serious.
Messi, that we don't want you to get it fired, Joe.
No, this thing with Caitlin Clark is so obvious to everybody. And it's just like, I truly don't. First of all, one of the issues, the one I can't get in trouble for, is jealousy. The jealousy of this girl. This is like the guys used to kind of, when Tiger came in, and like those guys figured out real quickly, like, hey, we're making a lot more money because of Tiger. People are coming, so let's just jump on the bandwagon, try to beat them, because if we get first or a top 10 finish, we're going to make a hell of a lot more money than they ever did when Jack was playing. And she's a golden ticket for that. And most of them just, they can't stand her. She didn't do any. I don't know.
Well, it's gone the opposite.
She's a complete idiot.
Opposite direction I thought it would go. I thought the league would overprotect her and they'd oversell her and they're over because of how much money she's made. It's kind of the opposite, where they don't protect her at all. The opponents take cheap shots at her.
By the way, even the cowardly women that do these shows on ESPN, they won't even come out and say, "Hey, what are you guys doing, man?" They're going, "Well, the officials need to like." Why don't you guys get to the issue, man? What are we doing? That she's making everybody more money. Let's not be stupid. You guys aren't making no more 75,000 as a rookie. That's done. Like I just incredible how stupid. And then the other one, I literally just, unless I want this to be the last day, is just incredible.
I see Hollywood laughing. He
God forbid you get married in that league. All right.
Did he just say cowardly women on ESPN?
Yes.
Did I hear that correctly? Okay.
You heard it? Have you seen it? Have you seen when they try to talk about this topic? Or
I think the way
girls got knocking her down and putting her hands around her throat and going, yeah, officials need to do a better. Let's get that. Look at we blame officials. Yeah.
They never miss an opportunity. That league. They are just
Friggin' NBA commissioners got to step in,
and they didn't
Adam
put
Silver's got to go.
Put her on the Olympic team. I mean, there's a showcase. I don't care.
Go ahead. Let me hear you say
talent, but
you can't get fired. So go ahead. Why don't you say it?
I can't get fired. So you're saying it's not a racial thing, number one. It's more a orientation thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Everybody agrees.
Come out of and yet it's not a conversation point. I guess we're not advanced enough to talk about it yet.
No. I guess the women can, but
and everybody talks about it behind the scenes, but
why wouldn't I just.
There's a lot of ESPN people up here. I'm going to see if they want Joe for WNBA Today, whatever their show is.
I watch their stuff because I'm really interested. I'm interested because this woman comes out. I'm not saying she's the greatest player of all time, and I know there's women that are better players in the league than she is. But you happen to get this one that is a big draw, man. Big draw.
She's made everybody money.
Everybody money.
It'd be like if the other teams were taking shots at Messi and putting him down after he's taken the league to a different platform level. Obviously a different story. She's young and Messi's proven. But the point is, money-wise and platform-wise, they ought to be. I'm not saying protect her, but
what do you want to touch this one?
Shots.
You want to get into like this stuff that everybody, like every guy is sitting here at home going, this friggin' league needs to, like, what are you guys doing, man? Not her being hurt.
I mean, not really. I'm up here at the ACC kickoff. I'd rather talk football.
Yeah. All right.
By the way, we're up here in Charlotte, part of the Capital One Orange Bowl Media Tour presented by Duffy's.
There you go.
And I've just been talking college football with guys for the last 3 days, so I'm enjoying myself while you guys talk, soccer and WNBA, whatever it is you're doing back there.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. About ready to drop your ass off too. Is what we're going to do, so you can start your vacation.
Hey, this isn't.
I thought you were on vacation 2 days ago. You're still here, man. What are you doing? Get Leon and Maxie boy and get the hell out of there, man. Go enjoy yourself.
Well, we went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame yesterday.
Yeah.
What a great sport. Very great, rich history.
I love that town up there. I like Charlotte. I think Charlotte's cool.
The stuff that I looked
this
at.
Isn't an ACC question, but where's Indiana going to be this year? I mean, it's ACC in that they beat Miami last year in the championship game, but I haven't heard any talk about Indiana. Are they going to be?
I think he's a really good coach. I just think he's going to be good. I don't know if he's not going to be maybe as good as he was last year with Mendoza in that group.
Preseason rankings, and most of the rankings have him a top 5 team.
Do they?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There you go.
So they replaced, like Miami replaced, they replaced too.
Well, they did go out early and make sure they got another quarterback there too.
The other Mendoza who was there transferred.
Yeah, where is he? God, we were talking about that. I forgot where Alberto's gone to. Anyway, hey, we got to go to break here. I'm running super late. I apologize, Woody. Sorry about that, man.
Okay.
All right. Listen, need cash to pay off some taxes, liens, judgments, IRS, high interest rates, second mortgages, credit card debt. Call Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage, 561-441-2730. If you own a commercial or residential property with equity, call Michael right now. He can help you. He's been helping Floridians for more than 30 years. Looking to buy a home today? He'll get you pre-approved with little money down. Now's the time to lock in before interest rates go even higher. Call a cell phone. Guy goes 24/7. You can call or text him 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. Nobody does it better when it comes to great service 7 days a week like Michael Kotze. MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change. David without notice. He's an equal housing lender ready to help you this weekend.
The
options, live poker, and simulcast. Plus, new members can win up to $5,000 in free play. Join the fun at the casino at Dania Beach.
We've got plenty of ways for you to listen to your favorite shows and favorite teams on WQAM.
How is that, if I may ask?
We're at FM 1043, or you can listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. Check it out now.
All right, welcome back here on a Friday, man. What a wild week it's been. Whether you're waiting to see if LeBron James wants to join the Miami Heat, or God, everybody's an insider. You're so right. Everybody's trying to kind of tease you a little bit that he's coming here, he's going there, he's going this place, that place. This makes sense. We know one thing: Giannis Antetokounmpo is signed, sealed, and delivered, and ready to go along with Bobby Portis after the press conference yesterday. So you've got that done. We also had the Marlins and Brewers starting up 3-game set. Marlins at 52-45, big 3-game. They're all going to be big here on out. 6-game road trip before coming back home. And by the way, want to let you know they have been playing great. A record-breaking winning streak, especially in June, early July. Playing great baseball. Head to Lone Depot Park this summer to watch all the action live. Get your tickets today at marlins.com/tickets. Got some great home games coming up, especially head-to-head games against a lot of the other teams in the National League East, like the Braves and the Phillies, all going to be coming up. So we got a lot of stuff. And I tell everybody, too, if you're watching them with Marlins TV subscription, you can stream every game this season live wherever you are. So don't miss the action. As a Fighting Fish, keep the big mo rolling. Visit Marlins TV today and get yourself ready to go. All right, so we got all that stuff going. The Marlins off to a great start. Been fun, even though they get swept before the All-Star break. Get a nice rest and start back up tonight on the road. We got the Open Championship going on as well, and we got World Cup. I got to tell you, you and All Day Dande did a great job of explaining, because I'm like, why would all those guys from England and France, two of the favorites that are now out of the tournament, now they're playing in a loser's bracket for 3rd and 4th place in this tournament? I don't know anybody in England or France going to want to hear, we won, we're number 3, we finished 3rd. I thought you guys brought up some great points.
I just don't. I agree with you. What is, on the one hand, what is the motivation? And the motivation is you don't want to lose. England doesn't want to lose to France, and vice versa. They're obviously rivals. But then you break it down. Mbappe can still win the Golden Boot. You got the English coach under fire.
Oh, he's getting torched.
He doesn't want to lose badly. He doesn't want to lose at all. If he goes out with a win here, at least they have, it changes the conversation a little bit. Let's put it this way: if they lose badly, it'll just add logs to the fire on him. So I mean, there are but the greater motivation, I get it. They aren't playing for the title.
Well, they got some great players. So if you do have tickets, and they're all going to show up and play hard to win this thing, it's going to be great. This is as good a talent as we're ever going to have in this town in a game. It really is. I know it's not playing for the World Cup championship, but if you're just looking at the talent on those two teams, France and England, you've got 3 or 4 of the best players in the world that will be playing in that game. 5:00 tomorrow at Hard Rock, so that's great. And then Argentina and Spain, and see if Messi magic can continue. 3 p.m. start on Sunday for that. So I got to tell you, I was just thinking of some things that really stood out in this tournament, and Messi number 1, especially now that he's playing here with Inter Miami, and they promoted him to start the tournament, but I never really thought much about it, except, either way, people are going to always say, especially young people, say he's the greatest player of all time, and his numbers and everything, and the awards he's been given. And now if he wins a second World Cup championship, especially in back-to-back World Cup championships, it's been a hell of a story. But I got to tell you, the other one for up here is this Erling Haaland story from Norway. I mean, not only did he play great till the last game, and he was taken out early because I guess he ran out of gas. You did that in our country, in one of our sports, you get hammered for taking yourself out or allowing somebody to take you out.
I was a little surprised
when you're superstar. But they're saying he had nothing left, a good decision, all that stuff. But what a likable dude, man. What a guy that came over here and embraced everything, and people loved him. I think they said he broke a record for the amount of followers he picked up in the amount of time he was here.
You know, we loved him because he loved us. You know, he talked about him. Americans are hilarious. You know, that and in a good way, not a mocking way. That they showed a picture of him. Did you see this coming off the plane in Norway, carrying a stuffed raccoon?
I did see that.
It was like, so he had a great sense of humor that I've watched him, you know, Manchester City for several years, but I didn't really know his personality. I saw more of his personality here than just watching him over there.
It's been amazing. It really has. And the crowds that have come over. We're all worried about the crowds and who was going to come over here and who's going to pay for these tickets and
the cost of the tickets, the corruption in FIFA. You know, I covered
officiating
10 Olympics. It's the same story before the Olympics, before these international events. It's the cost, the corruption, the how cities sold themselves,
kickbacks,
and once the games start, it's all about the game.
Yeah,
and everybody enjoys it.
We have pretty much got back to it, although you know people still think they tried to help. There are countries that think they had to help them get here. We didn't get the calls. They got the calls. Wow. Everybody's been saying they want Messi and Argentina to get to the finals, and they even had to comment about it. Like, no, we that's not the case. I don't know. I don't know enough about the refereeing and officiating in this thing, but there's been a lot of whining. There has been, and not enough cards have been put out early in the game the other night between Argentina and England as they were knocking each other down. And but it's been great to watch, man. It's been great. It really has. I have no problem, especially towards the end of these games when everybody steps it up down a goal and the greatness comes out. We've seen a lot of it.
What I love about international events at the Olympics, this is you see other countries, how they cheer for sports, how they go about. Norway with the row.
The row thing.
You got the Scottish tartan army guys wearing kilts
that one
around.
Too.
That was funny.
How many of them went to Marlins game? 8,000 or 10,000 went to a Marlins game.
My son actually went to one where we had he wore a kilt. I thought he had something to tell me, you know, that day.
Yeah, right. Dad, I found out more about our background here. Yeah.
Then Cape Verde, you know, Cape Verde played Spain to a tie, and they tied with Argentina going into stoppage time. And so they played the two finalists as tough as anybody, as a country of 500,000 people.
They're and then the star power and you're right, the Norway and having the fans do that rowing thing is hilarious. It is. Ooh. Ooh.
And and Holland doing it on the field after I forget who they beat now, but
put him in the front on the drum and then had him.
You know, things like that make the tournament.
And after the games, they would play songs that, you know, represented the country. Like USA had Country Roads.
Yeah, what was that? I really didn't.
Dave's really having a problem with that. West Virginia,
come on, that's no.
England had Wonderwall and stuff like that. So they would have different things, and they would all, you know, like Messi maybe could learn from them. They all thank their fans whether they won or lost.
Oasis, that's right. That Oasis song with England, and everybody singing it together.
It's pretty heartwarming.
Yeah. So the scenes of it are fun.
I'm an Oasis junkie too. I love what I found out. The brothers were dysfunctional. Just like, wow, let me get to this. I broke up the friggin' band. Two brothers. Mom goes, I don't know what to do. They just don't like each other. It's really bad.
Did you ever watch that documentary?
I did.
Wow. They don't pull punches, man. They go after each other. Oh, my
God. Yeah. One goes one way and they sing the same songs, and who sounds better when they sing it? Oh, my God. All right. Hey, we've got more stuff to get to here on a Friday. Nobody can mess up a Friday, man. First of all, Dave, I want to let you know at 9 o'clock on a Friday, there's 1 hour left. Nobody can ever mess that up. It's just
we're down to 1 hour then weekend.
Yeah, and I had some friends call me and said they're going on a vacation for a week. This kind of last week or two to go on your vacation, especially in the football business. If you're going to get away, if you got a few left, and
if we get LeBron signed, get through the World Cup final on Monday morning, it'll be football season.
Yeah.
Well, I'm baseball, but
boy, I'll tell you what, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing both them, Dolphins and the Canes, where obviously this year going different directions, and see what it looks like. We got a brand new coach. How's he going to handle? How's he going to, it's one thing he's putting his system in right now and how he wants things run with the Dolphins. But as we've seen with Mike, how do you handle it when it's not going well? And keep everybody going strong and not letting anybody get off the boat a little bit there. And how does leadership and everything else kick in? You don't really know, right? We said this. Like Mike was great. Mike's great. Let's see how it goes when it doesn't go well and they lose a couple. Let's see how everything goes over there. And I think we found out it was tough on him.
He inherited a very disciplined team because of Brian Flores, but it kept getting looser and looser and looser. Now this guy, the roster's changed over so much; it's a different team. But I'm curious to see, like you, how do they navigate this first season, because it's going to be a very difficult season.
Yeah, it is, and it's not going to be effort. I think every guy's going to get coached up. Nobody's going to go AWOL and leave early to go sign autographs and tell them they're sick. They're not going to have any of that kind of stuff. It's just really purely young and how much talent do you have? How much talent do you have? And that's this coach's job, is to find out how much. And there's some positions that people that do this for a living are very concerned about. Secondary, wide receiver, pass rushers. People are concerned going, Joe, they don't have any talent. And so how do you Band-Aid those positions up to get through the season? Because no matter what, you got to play 17 games.
I keep repeating this stat. For every team spending $1 on salary cap roster money, the Dolphins are spending 38.6 cents.
Yeah.
And there's going to be holes. And I agree completely with the strategy they're doing it and taking their lump this year.
I agree.
But it's going to cause problems.
So the thing is, you try to explain that to people and they just go, okay, great. I'm glad. Now, how's our team?
They say we're better than last year, aren't we? I've heard that.
I have
we're better than last year.
No, I've got it all. And they're going, like, great. I'm glad you explained the money thing. Nobody wants to hear about the cap. Nobody wants to hear about dead money. Okay, I'm sorry we're paying. Okay, I know you've told me over and over we're paying $50 million to go play for the Atlanta Falcons. And you realize nobody wants to hear about it. They go, how many wins? You see, how many wins can we get? How many wins can we? I get it every day. You get it all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what else that probably people hear a lot about. That's Baptist Health South Florida, that sports medicine program they have put together. Oh, my God. How do you become one of the top sports medicine programs in the United States? How do you do it? First of all, you better have a specialist for every part of the body. Check that. You better have teams of different doctors for every part of the body. Knee, anything with the knee, shoulder, foot and ankle, hand, back, hip and knee replacement, Achilles. I'm talking about top-notch doctors. I wish they'd sign off on allowing me to say some of the successful surgeries they've done on some athletes that had very serious injuries that are back playing. It's incredible. We got great stories to tell at Baptist Health South Florida. And they have put together a team of 35 specialists that are ready to take care of you with any kind of injury, with great facilities, great team doctors, and you got yourself ready to go. Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, Hard Rock Stadium next to the training facility, and 595 in Pine Island in Plantation. Hey, the next time you get injured, because it happens, man. If you're active, you're competitive, it's going to happen. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho. One go every day for them. It's about getting you healthy, back out playing the sports you love the most.
WQ
And hey, man, rookies report next week.
It's getting close.
Rookies report. And by the way, when you say rookies, you're talking about a lot of Miami Dolphin players. There'll be rookies and others that will be shown. Half the damn team, they'll have like 45, 50 guys out there. All right, you're kind of a rookie,
Rookie and for 1-year contract guys, basically. They all want to be there, right? And it's like a America Has Talent or one of those tryout shows,
what?
Isn't it?
It does feel like literally when a coach stands up. Now, I still think they got a pretty good idea who the 50 or 60% of the starters are going to be, but there are a lot of guys fighting for playing time. And I think they're going to play a lot of guys. I don't think they're just going to put one guy out there and go get him, guy. They're going to play a lot of different guys, rotate them in, rotate them out. And it is a great opportunity for a bunch of hungry guys trying to get their careers going. By the way, even if you're a free agent because they seem to give basically minimum salaries to all the free agents they sign. So Dave, they're hungry. They're going, hey, man, I'm 26, I'm 27. Most of them are that age. Those guys want to show they can play again. Some of them are receivers and had 30 or 40 catches at once or twice in their career as a third or fourth receiver. And they're looking and going, hey, man, that 1 and 2 spot are open. Let me get that here before these rookies get this thing figured out. And the rookies, I know one thing. I think the best advantage you have is to be the first draft class of a brand new GM and head coach together. You're their guys. Whatever anybody says, the guys a year before aren't their guys. Now they need them, but they're your guys. That draft, you put a lot of time together, and those are your 13 handpicked guys and rookie free agents.
And the next best, division would be the guys who are trying to reclaim careers, who fallen out of favor with their team for whatever reason, or their career hasn't worked out. There you go. There's so many of them coming in here, and there's an opportunity to succeed and get to another contract and make some money.
I agree. Yeah, Sawyer's trying to show everybody he can be a frontline guy, still a young guy, and hell, he may end up being a starter, but especially to your point on pass rushers that they went out there, they're looking. We're looking, a guy can win one-on-one on the outside. That, and then also this receiver.
I was going to say, look at receivers. Jobs There's two spots open. 2 spots open. Somebody get them, please. They're hoping that somebody catches their eye in preseason.
The guy they think is going to be a 1 or 2 is not going to be ready for the first half
Chris
of the
Bell,
year.
Yeah, he'll.
So everybody says when he's right, he's going to be that guy, but he's got this ACL and I hope he's back in November. That would be. I'm playing doctor this morning. But I hope he's back. I'd love to see him back, getting close to Thanksgiving or a little bit before, and heal up and ready to go. But man, you just look at these jobs everywhere. Deep secondary, have a good camp, one-on-one. Know your assignments. Those cornerback jobs. Now the 2 number 1s are going to start, no matter what anybody tells you. Even if it's a slow camp, it's hard for me to imagine that both, not just our left guard, but our.
Well, they better start. I mean, they're penned in as starters, and they have to do something, or unfortunately get hurt or something like that.
Yeah. No question about that. So hey, man, it's just going for it, and nobody loves competition more than that guy down in Coral Gables, man. They get after it. I'm gonna take you down. You got to go down and see one of those practices. That is. They get after
it's old school. I keep hearing that, and I know Jimmy Johnson would talk about scouts would come to him and say, "We don't need to go to your games because we watch your practices, and you go all out, and we can see all we need to see from players." And I hear Mario's the same idea of hard practices.
So I saw it during spring, but it's going to be the same way because he's got all those new linemen on both sides. They want those guys. They're going to get. They're going to feel like they played about 5 preseason games going through that camp. But he's got to get these guys ready to go. The rest of those guys that just had great years, your pass rushers, your whole offensive line, but one guy. So
one thing you have seen from Miami as Mario's put his regime in place is, and it was said at the start, but it certainly came true, is his personality is the lines. And he wins and he wants to win games and build a team through great lines. And I get everybody says that, but you saw last year with their offensive line.
Yeah.
3 guys got drafted, and the defensive line, 2 number 1 draft picks, that they're
left tackle, right guard, right tackle. And boy, they ran. Oh, that right side, that guard tackle, Inez Cooper and Maui Noah. Whew, man, that was strong. I can't wait to see how it turns out for all those guys once they get to the NFL here and start this thing up for real. Hey, we got 9 o'clock hour coming up. Man, I am super sure of that. I'm super sure of something else. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for that renewal. Your business runs all year, and so do the gaps in the risks. That's why I'm introducing Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. Super Sure is a super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Text WQ
Visit us, Doral Volkswagen or DoralVW.com. The Marlins are in Milwaukee to take on the Brewers tonight. 7:40. Sandy Alcantara will get the start. The Heat, they fell to the Raptors in Summer League 99-90. They play again tonight at 9 against the Pistons. Giannis Antetokounmpo was officially introduced yesterday as a member of the Miami Heat, and Mark Fletcher says he is ready to lead the next generation of Miami Hurricanes at ACC Media Days. On the weather is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures in the mid-90s with a slight chance of rain as the afternoon continues. I am Dan Day, continuing on now with the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Hey, welcome back here for the 9 o'clock hour. And I like to say this for years now. Nobody can mess up your 9 o'clock hour on a Friday. It's just impossible to do. Dave Hyde's in with us this morning. And we didn't talk about this, and I waited. I've been waiting. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk's going to join us coming up here in a little bit. We'll talk to Mike, all the NFL news, and get some stuff out there. But Mario Cristobal said something with us the other day, and everybody picked up on it right away, and that is we're going to be getting out of the transfer portal business with quarterbacks. We now like what we've been able to recruit, and we're going to go that direction. So basically saying that this Mensah thing will be the last time we see this. And I'm expecting Mensah to have a really good season. Why not? Why not after what you've seen from the last guy? One guy in the first round, one guy in the third. Well, one guy first overall, one guy in the third round, and now he comes in with obviously a really talented guy. But I thought it was really interesting because they got, and I said this a couple weeks ago, Israel Abrams is a 5-star quarterback. We haven't had a lot of those. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Wright's the only guy I can remember because he's from Northern California. And one of my roommates at Cal's daughter was dating Kyle Wright, and he calls me and says, he's coming out, Joe. He's a Bay Area kid. You're going to love him. You're going to love Kyle Wright. I think he's Gatorade Player of the Year, actually, and from Northern California. Remember, they used to get all those guys out there. Yeah,
sure.
Actually, I had some great success.
Gino Toretta going back there, right?
But not only that, but a guy named Ken Dorsey. We had some loving, man. Had some great players come out, both Northern California guys. I got to pop up my Northern California brothers out there. But so now you got a 5-star guy. And I'm guessing there's not a whole lot of 5-star guys on the list. I don't know. I want to say 15, maybe at the most, 5-star players in the country. Especially quarterbacks, as we understand from the top down, they're hard to find one. We've been waiting, and I'm like, hey man, you can't just keep doing this, trying to find a guy, and the whole thing you went through with Duke to get Mensah here, who wanted to come here, but the whole thing, and it gets expensive. It gets expensive to do business. At some point, the one position we have not developed and played since the transfer portal is finding, and we're recruiting 3-star, 4-star, 5-star guys. Now you got some guys that were heavily recruited, especially when this guy gets here, Abrams, after next recruiting class. He's not eligible. He's going back. He's in high school one more year. These guys they're not going to sit. The more they're recruited, they're not going to sit around and wait and allow you to just keep bringing in one year guys that are proven and really good. And I get why you do it. It's given us 10 wins 2 years in a row.
I was going to say, I thought it was genius what Miami has done. They've gone out and got a veteran quarterback in the college ranks who knows how to, who's obviously very talented. They've been able to scout him playing against good competition. And they pick the right guy, and they plop him down into their team. Yeah. And now they're ready to win immediately, rather than going through any learning process. Even a 5-star.
I don't disagree.
I mean, Cam Ward for but the price is going up. Cam Ward,
the price
1.5.
goes way up
Carson
every year.
Beck, 4.5, and Mensah is north of that somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised, and Mensah might be the first or second with endorsements that he has. He could be $7 million a year. I don't know, $6-7 million a year with everything. I'm not saying the school, but all the money and endorsements that things he can do. He's well spoken. It's expensive, and you start looking at your budget, it chews up a lot of your money, like the NFL.
Well, the other thing is you can't be guaranteed to be getting this guy every year.
And if you're waiting for your guy to develop too long, he's going to go somewhere else. He's going to leave. They're not. Hey, the higher you get recruited, you're not staying around. You're not going to wait. And so now, 3 years in a row, they've done this. And by the way, I'm not arguing as a guy sitting back enjoying it myself, like you just said, and Canes fans. But you can't bring in 4- and 5-star quarterbacks, and they have. Now they got a 5-star quarterback. It's been a while since we've had a 5-star quarterback come in here. But he's coming in, recruited by everybody, and we got him. He's not going to be sitting long. Michigan did it. Now, there's been some schools that
Ohio State did it too with the same thing.
He came in as a freshman.
But the two teams in the championship game last year, Fernando Mendoza transferred, and Carson Beck, veteran quarterbacks who had played in big games.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So there's a strategy to that if you can keep the finances in order.
Cal now has a Hawaiian kid. That's true freshman, had a big year last year, and they had to sprint over to Hawaii as soon as the season's over. And I'm guessing take a lot of money with them to Hawaii and open up a bank account because they got him back. He goes, I'm staying. Because those are the kind of schools that you take their players.
Right.
And
Cal,
plus, like they fired the coach. They fired the coach too that recruited him. So
all those things, good point all day. That is true. So anyway, we had 3 or 4 Michigan quarterback. Looks like he's going to be really good. You right? He looks like he's going to be 5-star, big money coming in. So, they're not going to sit long. And if they sit for 1 year, the guy in front of them better be special. Texas has been a really interesting one. Arch Manning was number 1 overall pick with the Manning family behind it. And you had Quinn Ewers there, who was also a 5-star quarterback out of Dallas, went to Ohio State, and then goes to Texas. Great problem to have.
But to your point, you can't hold on to those guys, and
they want to play.
I know that's Miami's plan now. Now they get a chance to look at this quarterback all through this season and so how will they feel in January and February?
The other problem I wanted to tell you they've had, we got to go to break here to get to Mike Florio. The other problem they've had is the backup quarterback gets no snaps because so many of these damn games, either you need to beat somebody by 20 so it looks good, or you're in a dogfight and the guy's got Cam Ward had to win. Backup didn't get to play. He's throwing passes into games trying to either come back and beat the Cows of the world or scoring a last drive to win a game late in the year. So you look and you go, wow, how'd our backup quarterback look last year? You go, I don't know. He threw 1 pass. That's a problem. You don't get any experience. You're just sitting there and all you do is practice. You don't get to play. So anyway, hey, we got Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. I just wanted to get all that in. I didn't answer anything.
Well, Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, is obviously getting guys up to speed quick, but it'd be interesting to develop a quarterback.
I think it's a lot cheaper way to do business, man, especially early. Especially early, I think you save a lot of money. You got same schools going to have same guys every year, and they draw that the price goes up. All right, Chill Zone AC. Let's talk about it. I love talking about President Melissa De Verona, family-owned and operated, the job they do. If you're not happy with the air conditioning company or the last one that you use, the air conditioning units, it's hot out there, you're running them hard, they're going to break down. There's nothing you can do about it. They are going to break down. It doesn't matter what the name on the air conditioning unit is, they're going to break down. You're going to need a new air conditioning unit. You're going to need repairs on the one you have. You're going to need duct cleaning. You're going to need an air conditioning company during the summer. Record heat out there, humidity, your air conditioning unit can only take so much. And if you're not happy with the people you've tried 2 or 3 companies, they're never on time. They don't know what they're doing. It's frustrating. You're in for a good experience with President Melissa De Verona, who answers the phone, sends her very experienced trucks out every day, people that know what they're doing, can fix the problem quickly, on time, and no surprises when it comes to what it's going to cost you. They do it the right way. It's so refreshing. It's great. I had such a great experience a couple weeks ago. Melissa, thank you so much. Family owned and operated, and she takes all the calls, so you'll deal directly with the president and owner of the company. Stay chill with Chill Zone Air Conditioning. Tell them you heard it right here on 104.3 WQAM. If you're ready to make that change, 786-378-2778 for Chill Zone Air Conditioning.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite Windows, Doors, and Roofing. Loctite Impact.
simulcast. Plus, new members can win up to $5,000 in free play. Join the fun at the casino at Dania Beach.
All right, welcome back here on a Friday, and Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk joins us this morning. Boy, we're getting close here. Rookies report next week for the Miami Dolphins. Following week, full squad, and we are off and running again. And as we bring in Mike this morning, pretty interesting story with the Rams and Aaron Donald potentially coming back. Mike, do you think it happens? Can you see him coming back and them working out something with him coming in a certain amount of plays?
I feel like they've been trying to milk this thing, create a buzz, get people wondering, while Donald drops breadcrumbs, whether it's on social media, whether it's showing up at the team's facility last week to see how it feels to be in pads again and see how his body feels afterward. So it just seems like it's moving in that direction. If it was a no, we would have heard it by now. So at a minimum, it's a very strong maybe, and the final decision will come sooner than later if he's going to be there for the start of training camp. I also think there's value in not making the announcement during the dead period, because if he comes back, when he comes back, it's going to move the bar even higher for the Rams. What's the point of having a whole week where nothing else is happening, where people are saying, let's just go ahead and give the Rams the trophy? That's just got to be a hard thing for a head coach to navigate. How do you motivate your players when everyone is saying you're going to win the Super Bowl? How are the players not going to be affected by that at some level? How do you undo that and get them to go to what Dennis Green used to call the valley of 0-0 and claw their way out of it one game at a time? And you're setting up a situation, even without Aaron Donald, just with Myles Garrett, you're setting up a situation where you're going to see the absolute best that every opponent has every single week. You're dealing with the Seahawks and the 49ers in your division. And I think that if we already knew that Donald was coming back, that pressure, that expectation, it becomes as strong as any that I can recall. I remember in 2000, there was this sense that Washington was just going to win it all after they'd gotten Bruce Smith and Deion Sanders. And it just seemed like they were loading the cannon. They didn't even make the playoffs that year. But that's one time I remember going into the season, it was like, why are we even playing the season? Washington's going to win it all. So I know that it's a good problem to have, although the best problem to have is no problem at all. But if we knew Donald was coming back during this period of time where there's not much else to talk about, I just think that they would be in a no-win situation. Anything less than getting to the Super Bowl would be viewed as a total failure. Now
they know what the Dodgers feel like down the street there from them in L.A., right? It's kind of crazy in a place of stars and everybody trying to catch up with the dominance they have. So, hey, so let me ask you, Mike, one other thing here too. That we've been talking about best players, and we got in this Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes thing. I think they're clearly the two best quarterbacks. Are you with us on that or not to start with?
Yes, absolutely. And I know Patrick Mahomes, as everyone else knows, is recovering from the torn ACL, but he's wired differently from a physical mindset, from a mental perspective. He is not going to reside in his fears. He is not going to apply a restrictor plate to himself. He's going to go out and he's going to be ready to go, because during the months where no one's been paying attention, what do we think he's been doing? Do we think he's been sitting on the couch watching bowling, or do we think he's been busting his ass every single day to get this knee back to the point where he can go back and play? Because he's not going to waste a year of his career. He's trying to chase Tom Brady. And they've got a lot to rectify based upon last year. And he's going to want to prove to everyone that he's still the same guy that he was. And he's not going to be careful about it. If he gets injured again, he'll live with it. I think he'd rather get injured again going all out than spend the whole season being careful. He's not going to be careful. He's going to be himself.
Mike, translate the story out of the New York Giants for us. They just hired John Harbaugh, big hire. And now the storyline is he has to change his ways. He's got to evolve or change or something. What's going on up there?
Well, I don't know whether or not he needs to change his ways. Sometimes it just gets to the point where your ways grow stale. After 18 years and you have players who hear the same thing every single day, sometimes you just need to move that to a new place and start from scratch. Look at Andy Reid after his time in Philadelphia. and it ran its course there. It was less than 18 years. It was 1999 through 2012. Boom, he hits the ground sprinting in Kansas City. So it may just be that he needed a change of scenery. And, hey, if what happened to him in Baltimore causes him to take an objective look in the mirror and ask, what can I do to be better than I've been? How can I reach a higher level of performance for myself and for my team? So be it. But the Giants made a beeline for him. I mean, the moment he became available, he was clearly the number one choice for multiple teams. He had so much leverage, and I think he could have gotten more money. Whatever he got, he could have gotten more, because there were plenty of teams out there that wanted him. Pretty much every team would have been interested in him because of what he's accomplished in the NFL, because it's not just winning a Super Bowl. It is being a contender more often than not. Teams realize it's hard, very hard, to climb to the top of the mountain. But if you have a coach who can keep you in the vicinity of the final assault to the top every single year, there's value in that. Look at all the teams that can't even get one. I mean, how long has it been since the Dolphins?
Really?
Don't bring that up.
Why don't you just bring it on here, right here? You didn't have to beat around the bush.
Look what the Giants have done. The Giants had two very memorable playoff runs where they didn't even win their divisions those 2 years. They just got hot, white hot at the right time. And beyond that, they haven't been to the playoffs but 2 times since 2011. They have 1 playoff win. So a team that is far more often than not on the outside looking in, they kill for a guy who can keep them in contention, can force them into contention. He did it right away from his first year in Baltimore. So I think the Giants are one of those teams where, now look, they need some better players, but, you know, Harbaugh inherited a team that stunk the year before he got there. And what did he do with it? He turned them around immediately.
Well, I got to ask you about Stephon Diggs, because like down here, people, you know, we're a little short on the wide receiver position right now. A lot of young guys and people going, well, we need Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs could definitely be an upgrade. Is he get picked up, and who do you see him picking up if you do think somebody's going to take a shot on him again after a pretty good season last year with New England?
There's so many factors that go into this. When you're talking about an older player who has made a lot of money, and the money that he's used to making is just no longer there. He's still doing the same job. He's still showing up to the same type of facility every day. It's the same 7-month grind, but you're getting paid a hell of a lot less
right
than you used to. And I think finding the sweet spot, what's the right amount of compensation? Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. is back on a team because he took the league minimum with no guarantees. So if Diggs was willing to do that, he'd have a team tomorrow. And I think the other side of it, too, once he's there, you got to have a plan for keeping him from getting upset. And it gets attributed to his intense drive to win. But still, there's been some incidents, especially in Buffalo, where not winning, not getting the ball as much as he should, it creates frustrations, it creates problems. And if you're good enough of a player, if you're performing at a WR1 level and you're one of the best in the league, they'll put up with it. When you're clearly a 2, and I think he accepts the fact that he's a 2. His argument is there's no second receiver in the NFL better than me. I think the Bengals would beg to differ with that. But
correct.
You need to be sure that once he's there and the dust settles and the season is grinding out a week at a time, Stephon Diggs doesn't become a pain in the butt, because he's not good enough anymore to justify spending time that you'd otherwise be doing other things, making sure Stephon Diggs is bought in and he's okay. Tom Brady had that great, we talked about this last week, didn't we? The great explanation about the mindset of the receiver.
Right.
And I think Stephon Diggs is a prime example of a guy who, if he's not getting the ball and the team's struggling, it becomes a combustible situation. And I think that's going to be a factor. Whoever gets him has to have a quarterback who can handle him and a team that has a plan for using him enough that he doesn't get frustrated and create a problem that they just don't want to deal with.
Yeah, and that's why we keep bringing up probably not going to happen down here with so many young guys. That probably not a great fit for this team with, again, a record amount of guys at rookie camp next week with the amount of young guys they have. Hey, Mike, we got another one that's really interesting. I haven't talked to you about this, and it's a transfer portal. At the quarterback position, God, you know, where there's a shortage of quarterbacks everywhere at every level. So we've been talking about UM, and now Darian Mensah takes over for Carson Beck, who took over for Cam Ward. You know the story, and the money just continues to explode because of supply and demand of proven quarterbacks who can give you 10, 11, 12 wins and get you to this playoff system. Mike, at some point, though, I don't know. You talked about the 20% rule. I always think about you talking about 20% for NFL quarterbacks. This thing's not slowing down. I've watched where it started with Cam and what Carson got, basically doubling the money, if not more. And it might have doubled again this past year to bring in the Duke quarterback, Darian Mensah, who's another good-looking NFL prospect. Does it slow down? Does it level off? I pretty soon, Mike, the money is like you're talking NFL money here, as outside of starting quarterbacks that are superstars.
But what's going to slow it down? That's the thing. It's either going to be the natural progression of the market. There's just not going to be any more money available. And college football is so different from pro football from the perspective of, at the college level, there are so many fans who feel a sufficient connection to the school that they're willing to kick in a bunch of money over and above what it costs to go to the games. The NFL doesn't have that.
No
matter how passionate a fan base is, you don't see fans coming together to put together millions of dollars that will separately go to a player to get him to come to the team. But that's the way it works in college. And until they find a solution to the reality that for decades they violated the antitrust laws by coming together under the umbrella of the NCAA and creating a bunch of rules that violated the antitrust laws, because you're talking about over 100 independent businesses that are trying to set and cap and limit the cost of your workforce. They got to come up with something. That's why they're trying to get Congress to give them a solution, wave a magic wand. The only other thing that would work is creating a nationwide bargaining unit like the NFL has, multi-employer bargaining unit, where you've got all the schools selecting players from the same pool, paying them from the same pool, coming up with transfer rules and salary caps and all the things the NFL does. The only reason the NFL can do that without violating the antitrust laws is because they have a multi-employer bargaining unit and they work directly with the NFLPA. And this is the other side of it too. The players may not want it. I mean, at some point, even if all the schools would position themselves to embrace a union, even though management typically hates to deal with unions, if that's the silver bullet college football needs, then you got to assume that the players will say, okay, we'll take that system better than the one that we currently have that we're making a hell of a lot of money from. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
The rap's gotten the gun as a result of all of these antitrust rulings that I think are all accurate. They're an accurate interpretation of the law. But how do you get the gun back? That's what the powers that be want to do, because that's my issue with the Save College Football Act or whatever it's called. At the end of the day, when you get past the window dressing, they just want to pick the players' pockets. They think the players are making too much money, and the market says otherwise. So I think until they come up with a solution, the market's going to determine how much money's out there, and that's going to determine who plays where.
All right, Mike, camp starts coming up, which allows us to start looking ahead. Dolphins opener against the Raiders. The big national story, I guess, is who's going to start at quarterback that game. Any way Mendoza doesn't start?
Well, the way that new coach Clint Kubiak's been talking about it, and I went back this morning and looked through all the different things he said, I get the impression he wants to go with Cousins and let Mendoza sit and learn and watch a mature adult run the offense. And that's fine in theory, but then you got to look at it practically. I know the Chiefs did it with Patrick Mahomes, but they were a perennial playoff team under Alex Smith. It's easier to sell that. Even if in 2017, Mahomes is out there doing stuff on the practice field, and Travis Kelce told me that season, he's doing incredible things on the practice field. If you're the Chiefs and you're Andy Reid, you can get the players to be patient until next year because we got a good team and Alex Smith is pretty good. The Raiders haven't done anything the past 25 years. Since they went to the Super Bowl 2002, they've been to the playoffs twice, one and done. They've been bad more often than good. How do you get Max Crosby to buy into this idea that I see Fernando Mendoza is better than 37-year-old Kirk Cousins? And my argument would be, if Mendoza isn't better than 37-year-old Kirk Cousins, why'd you make him the first overall pick in the draft? But Mendoza's better, but we're going to go with Cousins because we've got a long-term plan. Long-term plans don't apply anymore in the NFL. No. It's a year-to-year existence. And players want to win. And if Mendoza is clearly better than Cousins, I think it's a very, very difficult thing to do, to get the locker room behind the idea of not using the guy who's clearly better. And I think that's the challenge. And so it all comes down to, number one, is Mendoza better than Cousins? Number two, how much better is he? Is it going to be a potential revolt in the locker room if Clint Kubiak says, well, we're going to go with the guy who's 37 and blew out an ACL or an Achilles tendon 3 years ago, and he's still not really back to the guy he was before that?
Yeah. I tell you what, it's going to be a fun one to watch. Number one overall pick, and you open with the Miami Dolphins. You left that out too. It would be hard to imagine. And a guy playing against his hometown. How do you not start Mendoza in that
with
first
no
game?
Edge rushers?
No, with problems on
defensively.
defensively.
Joe, we said this last week too. When Ryan Tannehill arrived in 2012, he was third on the depth chart, and I remember thinking, this is just a way for the kid to show to himself that he can compete at this level, and you work your way up, you achieve something, you win something before your first game, and you're erasing any possibility in the locker room of people thinking he's had it handed to him. You can't hand it to him. He's got to earn it. But if he earns it, you have to give it to him. Right. If he earns it, then he's the guy. If he earns it and you bench him, that's when you start having problems with Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, and the other players on the team.
I got to tell you, the other one I thought of, it's so funny. You brought that up, and I remember Dan Marino and David Woodley. We had just gone to Super Bowl with David Woodley, and we come back, and they draft Marino at the end of the first round, and so David Woodley starts the year, and everybody's watching Dan Marino throw the football every day from day one of camp. And now we lose a couple of games, and you can see all the veteran guys, and we still had guys from the undefeated team or some of the older guys, veteran guys in the Killer Bees going, what are we doing here? And the guys, like you said, guys start to recognize on the team going, stop playing him in the fourth quarter when he's throwing for 200 yards, and you're going, well, it's prevent. We're already way down. And finally started him, and, he's rookie of the year. But he had to wait a few games, and the troops were getting like, hey, coach, shoes, what are we doing? Marino's ready to go. He may not know everything, but he can make throws to make up for it. So let's get going. So I always think of that every time you say that. But Mike, thank you, man.
Hey, Joe, hang on. Let me add just one thing. Back in those days, the presumption was the first rounder sits. Now the presumption is the first rounder plays.
Yeah, good point.
That makes it even harder to keep the guy out.
No, you're exactly right. No question. And I don't think anybody thought, because of Shoe's old-fashioned ways, that Woodley and Strock together kind of made us we got to the Super Bowl and had the lead at the half, and now we come back and there's Marino. And I don't know if he thought it was going to be a project, and then we're all watching him throw the ball, and everybody's going, you ever seen a guy throw the ball like that? No. How about you? You go, no. I've never seen a guy make throws. Matter of fact, turn your head, the ball, he just threw it and hit you in the head. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, hey, Mike, thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming on as always. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk joining us this morning. I always think of that, man. Even going back then, when do you play the guy?
They waited 8 games in. Eight games.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was 8.
No, Marino wasn't. No, come on.
And then he had his first pass was intercepted in the Orange Bowl. He was booed at half. There was a chance we want Woodley at halftime.
Are you sure?
Yes. And then they come out the second half, and he lit it up. It was
the Buffalo Bills. He got his first start at home.
Bills. They lost 38-35, I believe.
Lyle Blackwood walked up to him. The stories around it are unbelievable, and the guys that remember that, Lyle Blackwood, who's a safety and a veteran guy on the team, walks up to him before, and Danny's standing there, and national anthem, and now the coin toss, and he just standing there, and as soon as offense goes out, he's going to go, and Lyle Blackwood walks over to him and says, hey, man, do you realize if you don't play well, we're going to lose? Go get him. And he was just messing with him. But Marino just said he kind of looked at him because he realized,
How are you supposed to react to that?
He looks over, and then the rest is history. Then I think at the end of that game, everybody goes, okay, we got our guy.
Yeah, Shula, I wasn't there. I'm old, but I didn't. I came after that. But all the reports say he's smiling after a loss, and that was like the only loss he probably was smiling after, because
I think everybody was shocked that Don Shula made the big change from a running game defense to just load it up and let's just get after everybody there for 3 or 4 or 5 years, just light up the scoreboard every drive. It was crazy.
Did they change the playbook, or was it just different pages that you used?
Same place.
Okay.
I only knew because Jim Kick met me out in front of Mr. Laughs. I was coming out about 2 in the morning, and I see Jim Kick, who had retired, out in the parking lot. And I go, oh, man, I wanted to meet all those guys. Jim Kick, so nice to meet you. I'm Joe. And he goes, hey, man, so let me ask you, you guys, and he started naming the plays. I go, yeah, we ran those in the 70s. I go, yeah. He asked, you still run 90? Go, yeah. 70 Texas? Yeah. He runs the same plays. Shoes won't change the plays. He says, just got different guys doing them. It was awesome. Hey, Mike's got great stuff. We appreciate him always coming on. Hey, man, don't forget Marlins after this 6-game road trip starting tonight in Milwaukee and then on to Houston, and then they will be back home and, man, catch all the action. They got some great games coming up, trying to stay in that wild card and try to make a run in that National League East. So for the summer, after this record-breaking winning streak, now's a perfect time to tune in to Marlins TV and catch every exciting moment. You can do it. Get that subscription and get ready to go. You can stream every game this season live wherever you are, so don't miss the action with the Fightin' Fish, man. Visit marlins.tv today to get it. Get all set up and get it going. So, again, a lot of great promotions are going to be coming up for you. You can go to marlins.com and get more and find out so you and your family can enjoy it. Marlins.com/tickets. Marlins baseball second half, home games on the way.
Baseball coverage on WQAM is presented.
characters and some of the stories and stuff. And we had some characters, and as good as our characters were, those guys on the undefeated team, after I heard their stories, because they want to hear we're telling them crazy stuff that happened with some of the guys that we had, and it was crazy. And I got here in 1980. And I've always said this, and will say this, South Florida till I die. And I went to Berkeley, which is 5 years of my life was there, and that was a whole different world too. A lot different than where I grew up in this small conservative Catholic town with one big church in the middle. But I went down there a couple hours away, and it was like, we used to go to San Francisco all the time for baseball games and football games. And Berkeley's a different world. But I got here in 1980. It is got to be the wildest year of all the things that happened. Riots. The boat lift.
I was going to say
10,000. I think it was 10,000.
Yeah.
Right under. We're going to the Orange Bowl, and underneath they set up
tents. Yeah.
Tents, right? Whatever, if you've seen the movies. And emptied out, I think, some of the good guys and bad guys. It was a little combination of everything, if you believe the movies and stuff. Then the machine gun and the cocaine stuff was going on strong everywhere. And you got people calling you, what's going on back there?
And you're trying to focus on being a rookie in the NFL.
Well, you're like, all right, make sure. And I'm driving with David Woodley, to his car and his Camaro, and we're driving down, and he's smoking a cigarette, and we're driving down to our first preseason game at the Orange Bowl, and the first day we didn't know if we went far enough, and we stopped at Bobby Maduro Stadium, and I go, bro, that's too small. That's not the Orange Bowl, because I'd never seen the Orange Bowl. That's the first time we'd seen the Orange Bowl.
Game?
Yeah.
You never went there. Worked out there.
No. Practice at St. Thomas. And so now we're going down there, and we got a good laugh. We're at Bobby Maduro Stadium, and was home of the Orioles, and we're shooting down there. Now we get down there and stuff. But what a crazy year, man.
I didn't think of that. You were right. The background in Miami at that time was crazy.
I saw things. Everybody in 1980, people are laughing, and all those Cocaine Cowboys and some of the other shows that have been on about Miami back then, I was at every one of those clubs.
You were playing during the wildest time from the drug scene, immigration.
Well, I wasn't aware of all of it, but I know we got locked down. There was a lockdown during because we were in camp when some of that was going on. And they asked us, and they had extra security at St. Thomas. It was crazy, man. It was just crazy. And I'm
surprised some of that probably.
It's not even
so
people
locked
ask
into this football season.
I go 1980. I mean, I could tell you stuff. It wouldn't make me look very good, but like it was 1980, crazy year. Just crazy year. And 81 and 82 were crazy, but 1980 when I got here, because I'd never been here.
It was all new.
It was all new, and it's like, and then, everything in California shuts down at 2:00. The clubs and nightclubs, and whether you're in Berkeley or San Francisco, everything was done at 2:00. And I get back here, and Fort Lauderdale is, and the Grove, no South Beach.
Because there's no South Beach at that
going
time,
all night. By the way, the Grove was
fighting. The Grove was wild.
The Grove was feisty
well, there's
too.
Mutiny. There's a mutiny. Did you go to the mutiny?
Of course, I went to Mutiny.
You and Bo went in. I know you're.
yeah, you did hear the story. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And Faces in the Grove and the Mutiny, which was known to every drug dealer to be the place to go. As Shoes once said, you're not allowed to go to these clubs. And Mark Clayton said back to him, well, that's where all the girls go. Why would we not go there? You think those guys are going to get in our way? Way to go, Clayton. I'm with you. It's just, it was crazy. And then all the clubs in Fort Lauderdale, was all night. Live acts. Unbelievable, man. I mean, really good live acts. So.
To be a young and an athlete and have a little money in your
pocket
at the time.
Very little, but man, it was a wild time. It was a wild time. 1980. That was my rookie year. I went from Berkeley to And no idea, by the way, none that I was going to get drafted back here. Just absolutely thought there was a couple teams I knew were going to be interested because they said something. Never heard one thing, and you end up, here I am. Here I am.
You didn't hear from the Dolphins at all?
No.
Did they have combine back then? Did you work out at the combine?
But I did a little workout, but a very little one for them. But I did some stuff, and some other teams were Buffalo and San Francisco or more. And
just think how your life would be different if you were drafted by Buffalo, Joe. You'd be doing talk show on Josh Allen in February and March. And
I'm guessing I probably moved back to California at that, unless it was a great experience. Probably would have happened. Hey man, that's gonna do it. Dave, it's been a great week, man. Can't thank you all day, Dan Day. Thank you. Woody is unbelievable. Hope he has a great vacation up there while he's up there in North Carolina. If you're up there, you might as well stay up there and have a couple of good days for sure.
Great state in the summer.
Hey, that's going to do it for our show. Have a great weekend, everybody.
WQ